have been using it to twist the truth, I guess. I don't really get it. Like I said, I heard about it and people started telling me about its connections with the God helmet and MK Ultra and this other stuff. And then someone started talking about Monarch beta sex kitten programming. And that's where I was like, holy, this is real?
That's Kathy O'Brien stuff, right?
It's Kathy O'Brien stuff. Take out Fritz Springmeier's 13 Bloodlines stuff.
Oh yeah, I can't wrap my Fritz Springmeier.
Once he started doing it, I'm like going, this guy's copying David Icke's work. Oh my God. And I tried to tell Isaac that Mark Dyson that we're copying his work, and he didn't believe me either.
It's all a big circle jerk.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's copying somebody. Yep.
Yeah.
Echo chamber.
Totally.
Yeah, giant echo chamber.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone, you're going to get that pink flickering. It's awesome. I hope you enjoy it.
Yay.
It's lithium.
Why isn't
Lithium?
this?
The pink flickering is lithium.
No, it's my... No,
Hey, Suzanne, can I ask you a personal question real quick?
Yeah.
You know Dr. Lucian, don't you?
Dr. Lucian? I'm not sure.
Dr. Lucian? Like...
Is it... Okay, do I see you in... Which other chat do I see you all the time in?
CWs. Well, not all the time. Every once in a while.
Okay. That dude got me so hot the other day.
What? Why? Yesterday when he was saying he was
no. He's been hiving me hot for a while.
What happened?
Brandon. Brandon happened is the best way to explain it, kind of.
Brandon.
Like, I don't get this stuff right now. I am more confused probably than anybody in this room. But because I went to a boarding school in California that has connections with the human potential movement, I get to look at this from personal experience almost. And so when that Max Spears, the Hampton case, all stuff came out, I was kind of following it really closely. And I was sitting here and ever since then, I'm going, everyone's like Stuart Swerdlow and Miles. And I'm like, but what about Linda Moulton Howe and Laura Eisenhower and Dr. Stephen Greer? And they're like going, what are you talking about? I'm like going, all right, never mind.
Andy Bishago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like that. And like I said, and that's what I'm saying, because I like Walter. And I actually agree with Walter.
Oh, we're getting back to the Walter Bosley thing?
Yeah.
I totally forgot. I forgot what we were talking about now. It was so long
ago. Everything. We're talking about everything under the sun. Because, like I said, as I started messing with people about the butterfly effect. And short-term memory loss because too many people smoke weed. And people are running with this stuff.
With the butterfly effect again? That's come around again?
Or kind of like the Mandela effect, too.
Okay.
No, the Mengele effect.
It's the Mandela, Planet X, Nibiru, Anunnaki story. Yes, you're right.
That never ended.
I know, because Nibiru is coming September 25th of this year.
Oh, fuck, not again.
Oh my God, not again.
Never works.
No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding, but I know I'm going to be hearing about it from somebody.
Oh, definitely.
You all know about Neon Nettie and Your Newswire?
Oh, Nettle. Yeah, he's an idiot.
And, that Your Newswire is the worst.
Who's that other guy? Who's the guy with the lispy, chubby dude, the Syrian guy?
Oh, Sargon?
No.
Okay, good.
like older, chubby guy, white guy. He's got the news about the Syrians. He has webinars. His name's something.
Not Dr. Corsi.
No. He's a mope. He's not a...
How do you think about that Dr. Corsi dude? Why is he...
He's as real to me as Pechenik or Steele. You know?
Yeah, cool. Good, thank you.
I mean, all the things they claim can't be proved. That they were CIA. I suppose you could probably prove you're CIA. Then they kill you, right?
So, I'm sorry, when Robert David Steele dropped Oklahoma University, I was like in heaven. I was like, really? The guy went there? Yay!
And he says he's a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. Well, there's no way to find out if anyone's nominated for 50,
Hashtag.
for 50 years. They don't release the names of nominees for 50 years.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So, and you can't nominate yourself, so you have to be nominated by a board of selected nominators. So there's no way to verify whether or not he has been, because it's not allowed to be known. And and he was in the CIA doing whatever. Again, not allowed to be known by us plebes. So it's like we can't validate your claims. So, but I'm not going to believe you just because you've made them. That's my position.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find that dude. No, I thought his name was Nelson. Maybe he was Andromedan. I can't keep these damn aliens straight.
Was he a Pleiadian from the Andromeda Galaxy by any chance?
Maybe.
That's my favorite one. Next to the Director Reptilians, but I don't know where they're from yet.
They're from Earth.
Draco.
They're from the inner Earth.
Draco constellation.
Where did the Pleiadian thing originate? Does anyone know?
Yes. It was not Blavatsky. Something like sounds like Blavatsky.
Alice Bailey, Blavatsky,
George
Dwagul,
like
and the Ascended Masters.
50s UFO dude. It was a dude who he got kind of defamed after a while. God, I can't remember his name. And we're going to remember it when we go, Adamski.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He was like one of the first experiencers.
Right, and he was the dude who popularized the Pleiadians, I thought. I'm looking it up.
Me too.
The Nordics. Those are...
Mm-hmm.
The tall Nordic Aryans.
Yeah, George Adamski and Howard Menger.
The Aryans. Think this. I kind of connected this. I don't know if anyone's ever talked about it before, but like so the god of war, the Roman god of war is Ares.
Mars and Ares, yeah.
Ares, right? And then there's the zodiac sign of Aries, Aries, right? And then there's Mars, which is the god of war, right? So would people from Mars be Aryans? And does that imply that they're of like the bloodline of the god Ares? You know what I mean? I was thinking about that. If that's his planet or his consciousness, and people who come from there imbue that, right?
Let's go sci-fi modern age. What about the god Vulcan?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the god of war too?
Different
theme.
I think created by, all of it, I guess, was created by our imagination, right?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Or not. Vulcan, maybe.
It can't be known.
Well, there's the Mithras
impossible to tell.
and Euclid mysteries and the ancient mysteries stuff.
Ares was a Greek god of war. Mars
Vulcan
is Roman.
is the Roman god of fire. That's what Vulcan is.
Yeah, god of fire.
Okay.
Because Mars is not a Titan; he's a god, right?
Who's Abraxas?
Abraxas is like an evil demon.
Okay, cool.
Well, it's interesting you brought up Mars because I was thinking Mars specifically. What if I just stopped thinking about what I was told and made my own ideas about that planet? Stopped calling it Mars, first of all.
Right.
Because that was just told to me. Where did that come from? I have no idea for sure.
It's generally accepted as true.
Right? It's generally accepted as true. And why is that?
Because that's
our history?
Because that's what was passed down to us.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think of it, you could just totally make your own belief system.
If I didn't ever read about anything like that, I would never know that Mars is up there. It would just be read once in a while.
Actually, that's not true.
Okay.
We'd see the planets.
Yeah, there are 5 wandering stars that are visible by the naked eye that are Mars, Venus, and some others.
Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto.
Yeah.
Uranus.
Pluto?
Uranus.
And you can look at them with a telescope too. They seem legit.
No, they seem like lights in the sky. Summer.
Have you ever looked at Saturn with
Yes,
a
I have.
telescope?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Doesn't it seem like a globe?
It seems like a
Yeah, but
disc.
Jupiter
It's
is a
three-dimensional.
gas giant. Yeah, like, well, okay, now you're getting into, it's actually three-dimensional.
It has a shadow on it, though. It looks
I'm
three-dimensional.
not saying it's flat or anything. I'm saying all I
Thank
see
you.
is a flat circle of light. It's two-dimensional. My vision's two-dimensional. I'm not seeing a three-dimensional picture of space.
Saturn has the rings, which makes it a three-dimensional engine, because then you have width as well. And all of them have shadows and planes, which gives them width.
I'm not saying
It
I'm not
looks
saying they're
that
flat.
way.
I'm saying it's unfortunate that they're
It
two-dimensional.
looks 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It at least looks 3D
No, your
with
mind's
a
making
good
it look
telescope.
3D.
Well, doesn't our mind create our realities, or does
Mind
all
creates
five
everything.
senses?
We all,
It's
as
the
a
only
collective,
thing we have.
create the reality.
Yep. And now we go on to the next
Thank
level
you,
of this
Borg.
conversation because that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's all the
I think I closed the window.
The quantum reactor.
I closed the stream.
Oh man,
That is our
do
mind.
some energy philanthropy. Whew.
Hell yeah.
I know her.
You know her?
It's Reality Winner's cousin.
Reality Winner's cousin.
Yeah. Philanthropist, whatever you just said.
Oh, energy philanthropy?
Yes.
I don't know if that's okay. Reality.
What is
Reality
it?
Winner. That was
Kind of
was that a whistleblower
Yeah.
or supposed
That nobody's heard
whistleblower?
from. Yeah, some sort of supposed whistleblower that's just disappeared.
Also, what are
Brandon Young's in chat. He says that his middle name is Mars or Aries.
Why doesn't Brandon come into the hive?
I don't know. I stopped inviting him because he's being a little bitch.
No,
I'm kidding.
shots
I'm
fired.
kidding.
We love you, Brandon.
I
You
hate
should come
running
back.
Skype. No,
You gave him a hard time. He was like the best one next to C-Dub.
I never give him a hard time. I always invite Brandon. Everyone's welcome. No one's shunning.
Who started the blue avian joke in the first place? That's
joke?
what I want to know.
What
That
joke?
stuff's hilarious.
Which
Wait,
one?
The blue avian.
Wait, blue avians aren't real?
Oh, who started it? Oh,
Yeah.
wait. You just reminded me.
For a second.
The dude who Miles has been showcasing, this Mike Emery guy. Have you watched?
Oh
him?
my God, that dude's weird. Oh, go ahead.
He's weird. Interesting stuff. Okay, it's interesting. That's all I'm saying. It's interesting. But he talks about the blue avians as if they're a thing in this construct.
Well, I guess they have to be a thing in this construct now that everyone's talking about them.
Right. So then we can't say that they're not real or fake or making shit up anymore if they are real.
They
But
just
I
might
make
not be
fun of-
three-dimensional.
Well, they're obviously not three-dimensional. Well, they're
But
not.
see, then that makes
pure.
everyone's all my David Icke jokes about the Draco-reptilian shape-shifting lizards from Uranus.
They start out brown and then shapeshift on the way out.
So I've been just like I've been making fun of this stuff for quite a few years now, and Isaac Weishaupt and me became buddies, and we were talking about this stuff, and we started making fun of Mark Dice and Alex Jones and all that craziness, and then now with all the Russian bots and that stuff kind of coming out, I'm like going, holy crap! I better stop making these jokes.
Those are called last straws. Grasping at people are grasping at last straws.
Yeah.
But there's no politics. This show we're going to talk about hilarious stuff, news, weird ass news that I found,
Yes.
Yeah.
and nothing negative or divisive.
Oh man, this is gonna be the best hive ever. Good vibe.
Who's beeping? Was that mine?
It's you, Jer.
I don't have anything cooking.
I don't know.
No, that was me.
I left my oven on. Hold on.
Okay, no, Jerry, come back.
You like Donald Marshall?
No, I know it wasn't. It was Nomad.
All right, I'm sorry.
Anybody a fan of Donald Marshall here?
Fan of? No.
Okay, cool.
So, wow, you just heard that, Brandon? That was a while ago I said that. And I was kidding. All right. So anyway, what I want to do tonight, I'm sick of talking about Q, about aliens, about Tom fucking DeLonge and his gay friends, and I don't want to talk about the shooting. So I went out and found all these great, hilarious, weird stories that all happened this week. And I made slides for them, which are playing. Not in the right order. So the first one I want to talk about was the NSA. 2 guys dressed as women crashed into the gates at the NSA. And I think both got shot.
Do you know why they were dressed as women?
They did not say. In fact, the later news stories and updates didn't even mention that part. It was only in the early reports. When I was researching this today, I found that this exact same thing happened in 2015.
Yes, it did. Exactly. Where two cross-dressed men crashed into the gates of the NSA. Same thing.
No,
Cross-dressers. Like, what is up with that?
Well, I also found that there was a cross-dressing convention going on in DC at the time, and in 2015. So it could have been some kind of crossover incident. Yeah, there were.
Or could they be trying to tell us something?
Well, no, in 2015,
they're trying to reach out to the masses.
Maybe.
Please help me.
Okay, let's.
Here's the headline: Partying cross-dressers tried to crash gates at NSA.
There's a lot of talk.
What radicalized them?
They were drunk, weed.
Is that on USA Today? Because I got that same one, Partying Cross-Dresser.
Yes, Partying Cross-Dresser. I love the title. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting that it happened. In fact, if you Google cross-dresser NSA, nothing other than like the top 5 stories are all about 2015. And also, Citizen Free Press says that one of the people were dead. So, because I've seen reports that it said there were 3 people that crashed. Look, it's murky. Okay.
When was the Hobby Lobby decision?
Oh God, 4 years
Was that
ago.
2015?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
The Hobby Lobby decision?
That they didn't have to do whatever they had to do because they were religious.
Oh yeah, that's right. When all that crap was going on, that was when Mike Pence was our governor in Indiana here, and he
I'm sorry.
That he signed that bill stating that people did not have to like bake fucking cakes for gay weddings if they didn't want to and shit, and like it caused all that drama on him. Like it was great. It was a good time.
Did you hear about his friend being accused of some sick stuff and him kind of covering it up by any chance?
Did not.
Whose friend?
Pence's.
Pence.
What's his friend's name?
I don't know. Like I said, I heard that his friend was accused of inappropriateness with a minor or something like that, to be politically correct here.
Oh, who hasn't done that?
Yeah, come on.
Me, to be honest with you.
Come on, it's the 90s. We all do it.
I'm getting too old to say this. No.
Who's Mike
And
Pence?
he's also like
He's our vice president, dude.
Who is Mike Pence?
That goes back to me asking, what is Mars?
Well,
What is
doesn't
Mars?
Mike Pence talk to Jesus Christ?
Yeah, he's on the God
And
squad
he's
for sure.
very pro-gay aversion therapy, which has been basically been proven to be almost close to torture.
Yeah, it is. Pray that gay away.
Yeah.
It's-
So
yeah.
that's why I like talking smack about him.
Yeah.
I still support Trump, even if he is a shill.
So after
Make
the
America
after the
great again.
cross-dressers
Who's Trump?
ravaged.
Sorry.
Are you going to do this all night?
No, I'm done. I'm done. I just had to get my point.
Did you? What's your
Just
point?
a little bit.
What's your point?
We've never met these people.
I know they're 2-dimensional characters we see on television.
They're probably real, but either way, why do we let them affect us? Like just the fact that we know and have some emotional investment in names of people we've never met is really interesting when you think about it.
Well, they do decide the amount of taxes we pay.
That's all going to the Federal Reserve.
What is that? Omarosa. Oh yeah. I heard about Omarosa. Was that on No Agenda they were talking about?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
on the new season of Big Brother, and I guess she dropped these things stating how like, oh, if you think Trump's bad, like you got to worry about Pence.
Right.
Like talking about him, about how he talks to God, and he's like, they have this big plan for immigration or some shit. Like, yeah, she was shitting all over Pence on there. So that could be like some kind of psyop to where they're either trying to get they don't want Pence to be president just to keep Trump in because everybody would fear having a Pence presidency.
He can't be any
Or
worse
maybe
than Bush.
not even
Bush
gonna
was
run.
evangelical.
Yeah, but that was before social media
He
was out, and we didn't
he fought the war in Iraq because he believed that he was fucking Gog and Magog and
there was
I'm glad you brought up the
mass
Gog Magog
destruction.
stuff because
saved our life.
yeah, Papa Bush.
And see, that's why I would say
Hussein is the reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. Don't you remember this story?
That was Obama was the clone of it.
No, he was Akhenaten. Ah, fucking.
Okay,
Hey,
that's
didn't we go
right.
into didn't we go to Iraq to raid one of those Baghdad museums to get the Ark of the Covenant that was underneath it or something? Wasn't that
No,
what's
the
going-
Ark of Gabriel was found underneath the mosque last year.
Oh,
And we went into Iraq to get to the Temple of Ur to get the Stargate.
the Stargate.
Mhm.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
There's a new Stargate
That-
TV show. Stargate.
that's why I would argue all of politics is probably a psyop.
All of everything is. The
This-
only thing that's
Not
real is
everything.
The show's a
we're having
psyop.
right now. This show's a total psyop, and I love it.
What happens if the psyop is there is no psyops?
The only thing
very
that
possible,
would be
too.
real then at that point would be love.
Here's the biggest psyop. The
Well,
psyop is that
God, I love you, Nomad.
the
Thank
psyop
you.
is that they've got us
Love you too, man.
believing that there are other people who believe in the bullshit. That's the psyop.
But
We believe that people believe it. You know, nobody believes the shit. Like,
Right?
Oh, who was okay? A good topic right now. The interview that musician, producer, label owner guy just did, talking about Michael Jackson and Richard Pryor being fruity and all that stuff. Did you hear that?
Do tell. I haven't heard that.
I
Oh,
can't think of
Richard
the guy's-
Pryor? Yeah, didn't he bang yeah, what some other dude or something was going on? God, what was that I just heard? Hold
It was
on.
just a
Smoke
huge
crack.
interview done.
caught on fire.
No, it was like Brandon Marlowe, this guy.
Yeah, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando
Yeah.
had sex with all these like actors back in the 70s, and like Richard Pryor.
Ooh.
And it's this dude's interview that he's coming out with a book about this stuff. And he was Michael Jackson's producer.
Yeah, did Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando have sex? Yes, they did.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed the slide.
Damn.
Yeah.
You guys got to keep up with your gossip.
Yeah, you got it.
After those
You want-
cross-dressers tried to rampage the NSA, bull busted
Bring it back.
A bull, a black Angus bull, broke out of an auction house and rampaged a high school and had to put it on lockdown in Burley, Idaho on Tuesday.
Man.
The lockdown lasted 15 minutes as officers followed the animal off school grounds and promptly shot it.
Well, obviously,
it?
we need stricter bull control in this country because things are just getting out of control.
But they
Did they have a barbecue?
made a point to state that they walked off school grounds to fire the gun and no guns were shot on school ground. And this was the day of the shooting, right on Tuesday. What day was that?
There was the Quincy Jones interview. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brandon, just come in.
On the 14th. So the shooting was on the 14th, which was Wednesday, right?
Happy V-Day.
Okay, so on Tuesday, this bull busts out of whatever it was in. It escaped from an auction yard and stormed onto this campus and rampaged around the school. They took it off, and the last thing it says, Sheriff Jay Heward says the officers were not able to capture the bull, so the animal was killed in order to keep the public safe. He says no gunshots were fired on school grounds. You know, it's like prominent in the story. And it happened on the 13th, the day before the school shooting. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. It's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls. So. All right. Now you're not going to play off anything? Grassy.
What happened?
I'm sorry, I'm reading chat a little bit. Hey, Moose.
Okay. Oh, what else? What else did I put up here?
So why was this dog barred from running for governor?
Yeah, so this guy, I forget his name. I'm gonna look it up now. He's famous for something. Oh, okay. So what happened was a bunch of teenagers registered to run for governor because apparently they could. And this guy wrote in his dog, or applied to have his dog run. I can read the story here. The dog's name is Angus Woolley, and that is the dog. All Angus Woolley wanted was to be the top dog in the Kansas governor's race. But the Kansas Secretary of State's office this week determined that Angus can't serve as the state's governor, not because he's the top dog, but because he's a dog. A dog cannot run for governor. Samantha Potter, that's close to Suzanne Potter, it's weird, a spokeswoman for the Secretary of State's office told CNN in an email statement, Kansas statute and the Kansas Constitution make repeated reference. I should read it like a Kansas statute and Kansas Constitution make repeated references to a person being governor. That's not.
How did Brownback get in then? Oh,
This is a lot of bullshit. Apparently okay, so there were, Kansas is one of only 3 states, along with Vermont and Massachusetts, that don't have age requirements for governor. Therefore, a giant loophole allowed 6 teenagers to run for governor.
Wow.
So 17-year-old Jack Ferguson ran. He filed papers to run for governor in November, and 5 other teens did too. So this guy with the dog said, well, if teenagers can run, then my fucking dog can run too.
Well, obviously.
Right. So that was his argument. And apparently they said, no, it's got to be human. You know, no age, but still.
Yeah.
And then another woman had a cat. Hank the cat ran for Senate in Virginia. So
I'm just amazed 6 teenagers had the gumption to go file the paperwork.
I'm surprised.
Exactly, man. Let them run. Let them run. They'll probably be more ambitious and have better original ideas than any indoctrinated politician that they're going to get in there.
We should see if any dogs tried to run for governor in 2015.
By the way, I'd vote for Hank. I'd definitely vote for Hank.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
That'd be my
Fuck these
first
ads,
vote.
man. No dogs in 20. Oh, dog elected mayor in Minnesota in 2014. It's true. It's got to be true. It's in the HuffPost.
I was really proud of the kids here in Tulsa. They walked out of school because of the conditions and of the teachers here in Oklahoma. It was pretty cool.
Do you guys remember Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Yes.
Yeah, didn't he get in super trouble because
I don't know. I just remembered he was total cretin.
well, him and freaking what was the wrestler dude's name? Got in a bunch of trouble for cheating on their wives at the same time, I thought.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
I don't know. So in 2014, a 7-year-old dog named Duke was elected mayor of Cormorant, a small town in Minnesota. The 12 residents paid $1 each to cast their vote. And they voted for this Great Pyrenees dog named Duke. And Duke's the mayor now, so not quite 2015, 2018 thing we're looking for. He beat up his wife. Oh, Dwayne something they're saying in chat. Caligula. Yeah, he made his horse general after he fucked it.
Mr. Hands. Oh, that's the other way around.
Love your random facts.
Dude, you couldn't even give a horse a reach around, really, seriously.
Well, couldn't.
Unless you got really long. Can you imagine a Tyrannosaurus Rex trying to give somebody a reach around? That's just.
I think about it every day with those little short arms.
Little short arms. I can't give me a reach around. I love that movie. What was it, Meet the Robinsons?
This is going downhill.
No, it's not.
I'm
started at the bottom of the fucking hill. Gordon Roop is here. Holy
Gordon Roop.
Fuck. We should get Gordon in here. Gordon, come in. All right, what's the next story? Wait. Oh, the Mullet Fest. Yeah. They love the mullets in Curry, Australia. So they're going to have a mullet. They're having a Mullet Fest. It's actually a whole vintage 80s or festival, but a big chunk of it is this mullet contest and Mullet Fest.
Mullet Fest.
I wish I could find. They had whole families with mullets, but they were really tiny little pictures, and I just couldn't. I'll ping you on Facebook.
Arkansas?
What?
No, Arkansas. I'm making a joke.
Arkansas? What you talking about, man?
Arkansas is a mullet capital, man.
Is it? I thought it was
Next to
cocaine
Oklahoma.
capital.
But I can't make fun of Oklahoma. That's where I'm from.
Gordon Roop.
I've got a mullet. Yes, I do. It's a good song.
There you go. Facebook, Gordon. Laura London was just live.
The ape drape.
No, she's not an ape. What is an ape drape? What is that? Adam Tardis.
It's another mullet term.
Another what?
Another term for a mullet, ape drape, Tennessee top hat, hockey hair, you know.
Drape. Because they're knuckle scrapers at the ape connotation?
I'm not sure.
I never had a mullet.
Neither have I.
Thank God. Thank dog.
Mm-hmm.
Thank Governor Dog.
Isn't there a drink called the mullet?
So there's one more story I had. Oh, some Indian woman dressed up as a dude and married 2 other women separately for the dowry. She was broke. Her name was
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Krishna Sen.
Why can't I meet people like that?
Because you don't have a dowry.
No, I want to marry ones with dowries. Oh, you're right. I got you. Never mind.
And in the picture, I'm pretty sure I put it. It should be on the screen now. I have her pointed out with a red arrow drew on there. It's a lovely arrow. She's got the hat.
That's a her?
That's a her.
Okay. Nice try.
She's arrested and in jail for masquerading as a man.
Okay.
And she's been doing it for 4 years. And she's been married for over a year, another year. So that was pretty funny. It was a week.
We haven't got to the
for strange
Disney
news
stuff.
I didn't read that article. I don't even know if I can find it. Disney lawsuit. Somebody was suing them because yeah, here it is. Lawsuit alleges mafia-like tactics aimed at the Disneyland Social Club.
Is that anything like Club 33?
No, I think it's the one that's open to the workforce. So I'll read it. It says, there are a lot of ways to be really into Disney as an adult, which is frightening, but you can go on a Disney cruise, attend a 3-day Disney convention, or get married at one of the parks. Suddenly, in 2013, a whole new vein of fandom sprouted, Disneyland social clubs. Like an oddly wholesome motorcycle gang, members wear denim vests festooned with Disney trading pins on the front. On the back are patches bearing the image of their club's totem character. Many members own annual passes and visit Disneyland frequently. Some members have tattoos of Walt Disney's head. Himself. Sorry. It's his head, but it's still him. But yeah, that's just... Oh, I have some pictures I can share. Here. Grim, share this with you.
Drop it in the Zoom.
I am, baby. I am.
Wait.
Yeah, it is. There's some good pictures of the social club inhabitants. They're like bikers gone good.
Lawsuit alleges. Okay.
So each club has their own theme. Some are named after characters, while others are focused on features of the parks themselves. But the denim vests are a mainstay.
Oh yeah, dude, that's an MC club, or that's totally a motorcycle club jacket,
isn't it? It's like the
most wanted.
The guys who printed are. So, according to the lawsuit filed in September in Orange County Civil Court and updated last week, one of the clubs used tactics more associated with the mafia than the happiest place on earth. The plaintiffs are John and Leslie Sarno, a Sacramento couple. The court explains that John Sarno sounds so familiar, that John Sarno was the president of the Main Street Fire Station 55 Social Club and also bore the title of battalion chief in the fictional fire station.
What's with the red flannel?
I don't know. Lumberjacky. In the summer of 16, according to the complaint, Fire Station 55 Social Club organized a fundraiser for the families of firefighters who died in 9/11. Some 340 participants walked 2 miles around Disneyland, and profits were donated to a charity, undisclosed. Disney gave permission and provided security, yada yada. It was weeks leading up to the fundraiser that defendant Jacob H.I.V.E. and 4 other members of the social club called the White Rabbits approached John Sarno on Disney property and demanded that he pay them $500 in protection money for the event, according to the suit.
Wow.
He refused to pay, and he says this Jacob H.I.V.E. guy threatened to ruin him and that the Sarnos would never be able to visit the park again. After that fight, and other members of the White Rabbits began a targeted campaign against the Sarnos on message boards and podcasts, calling them scammers and con artists. Chill. They say the White Rabbits printed T-shirts with John Sarno's name and likeness on it, warning that he was dangerous, and made false reports to law enforcement and news outlets. This is targeted. This is gang stalking right here. Okay, this dude was gang stalked by fucking Disney junkies. Mind-controlled Disney junkies. They're like, they're crazy.
Hey, what's up, Gordon?
Am I here?
You're here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What have I gotten into?
Oh man, who knows?
You're getting into news stories that I can't read through without laughing my ass off, basically. The White Rabbits.
White Rabbits.
John Sarno
Oh, the White Rabbit.
a famous person. I just remember that name.
You know what the Fall of the White Rabbit's from, right?
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Also, right? Yeah.
Yeah, here it is, right here. He was an author. He's dead.
Oh.
Died last June. He was like a pill dude. Like,
I'll
He
tell you
was-
something funny. Speaking of Disney, I watched a video today that were like the requirements to be a Disney princess. And, they should be making buku bank because, wow. Yeah, sorry. So total non sequitur there. Sorry.
that's right.
No, it's a total. I mean, it's a cult.
Disney,
Mhm.
totally.
I mean, with the Disney kids, with all their stuff coming out, and I hate
The
to
Mickey
bring up
Mouse Club?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's
Well,
so
and
much
Britney
programming
Spears
in there.
dead and losing her trust to her father because she has mental
Who?
health issues to be politically correct about it.
Who's that?
Britney Spears.
Oh,
Yeah, Brittany. She was a Mouseketeer. Yep.
Yeah, and
so
all that stress of dating Justin, who was just on the Super Bowl swinging
Wasn't-
back there.
Wasn't Christina Aguilera a musketeer too?
Uh-huh.
Or the
Oh,
Disney-
yeah.
Might have
There's so many with Harvey Weinstein, Me Too stuff coming out. There's a lot of stuff coming out about Scott Baio and Kevin Spacey and a bunch of people right now.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say Weinstein was a mouseketeer. You scared the
That would have
crap.
been awesome. What a twist.
I don't think they let Jewish people be musketeers.
No, yeah. Walt Disney was infamously anti-Jewish.
Right.
Yeah.
Huge anti-Semite.
Totally.
Yes.
There's a really good Family Guy episode where Seth MacFarlane kind of showcases that with them.
Oh, that's right. Where
Yeah.
where they're all animated like
Yes.
Disney, and Mort comes over and they're like Jews.
Yes.
Can we bring up the Ashkenazi, or is that a taboo subject?
Nothing's taboo.
As long as you don't say they're the quote unquote Illuminati or anything like that.
Well, the Ashkenazi Zionists can't be the Illuminati because the Illuminati of Bavaria were disbanded in
No,
1784.
the cabal, whatever nonsense people are going to put labels. They're just fucking labels. What about the Ashkenazis?
It's a taboo subject to bring up.
I don't care.
The two-state solution of does Israel belong where they are due to the Balfour Declaration.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, neither do I.
The Ashkenazi had nothing to do with that. The Ashkenazi were the Eastern European Jews, the redheads.
Out of Turkey, right?
Well,
Or what became
Transylvania, Turkey, whatever, that area, yeah. Like Vlad Tepes was probably one.
Well, it says it's a Prussian Empire that came and turned into the German Empire, which the World War I and II stuff. That's a fascinating history.
Mhm.
And some people have been taking that stuff and making books and movies about it, like Angels and Demons.
Oh, yeah. Plus, just look at all the fictionalized stuff that's sprinkled with stuff from my informant. You know, like that idiot Sean David Morton.
I don't know who that is.
Expand.
Oh, no, he writes fiction because, he's not allowed to tell the truth. And all this truth he gets from his informants.
God, what was the name of that guy who used to be on Coast to Coast all the time with George Norrie?
Bill Snoblin? No, excuse me. Bill Cooper. Sorry.
But he's
No, I
dead.
something Lear.
Oh, John Lear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that dude! I swear to God,
Yeah.
he writes better fiction than I do. Speaking of which, did I mention I'm coming out with a new book this month? Anyway,
Here we go.
What?
I'm kidding.
Promote.
I'm kidding. I'm Gordon. I'm
What?
totally kidding.
No, I'm just giving you crap. That's all.
All right.
Well, no, but Lear would come up with this stuff with, oh, well, I've got above top secret clearance. Dude, you don't have above the bathroom clearance. Okay?
Right. He's like so senile.
I mean, good holy God on a stick. I mean, by the way, who all's in this chat? Because it says 6 people, but I
If you click the gallery view up in the right-hand corner.
It'll show everybody. Because if people don't have their cameras on, you probably don't see them.
Yeah.
You probably just see Jerry.
But
Jerry Grimsteak. Now Grimsteak, who's that? Who's Grimsteak?
he's Grimsteak.
I'm Grimsteak right here.
Click the gallery view. You'll see him.
Well, no. I mean, like, what? It's James, right?
No,
I'm Grimsteak. James is the co-host.
he's not here.
James isn't here yet.
Okay.
Fuck is James.
I don't
And
know where he's at.
I'm just Lee.
Velt.
That's me. I'm Lee.
Lee. Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy to remember. That's my middle name. So you're in like Flint. I can remember you. Suzanne. I don't think I know Suzanne. Jerry, you're not my type.
No. I wasn't. I thought I was muted. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I know.
Well, hi.
No. Let's see. I met Gordon. I met you back when I was listening to Jimmy Church and hanging out in the Beyond the Strange.
Yeah. I remember talking to you a couple times. I think we talked.
Chat.
That, and I think I talked to you on the air on Space Boy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah, I my memory goes way back like that. So
it's only like a year ago.
Oh, I haven't been on Space Boy in like 2 years, man.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, we had a bit of a falling out.
It's too bad. No, I James Cruz is where I met him in those chats too, along with you.
James is supposed to be out here in Colorado, and he's talking about like going out, and I'm like, sure, man, whatever, And Adam, I've known Adam for like 3 years now, and he's incorrigible.
You think?
I know. Trust me.
Adam Tarsus?
Yeah, just keep your dice out of his hands.
Actually joined. He just joined the chats. What's up, Adam? That's a crazy.
Well, I sort of had to. Gordon's here, and I got to tell you, we're such good friends that I will never pass up a chance to kick him right in the nuts. No, and I mean that, and as he would say, in a good Christian way. We're really great friends, and so yeah, any chance to hang out with him and be social, why not? Besides, you guys are here, and I haven't seen you guys in a long while, so.
Hey, we're Gordon. We're doing a show with you, aren't you? James set something up with you, right?
He said he wants. I was talking about maybe Tuesday, Monday.
Cool.
Because you guys are doing D&D on Monday.
Yeah, we'll get if Adam wants to join too, we'll get in. We'll have a nice little 4-way roundtable and just shoot the shit. That'd be pretty awesome.
Well, knowing Adam, he's always up for a 4-way.
I was just gonna say that, you fucker. Stole my joke.
Oh,
okay, Gordon.
poor babies.
Oh, okay.
Gordon, April 4th. What are you doing?
You're just being bitches because you're left out.
April the 4th.
Yeah.
My schedule looks pretty clear right now.
Okay.
So
you're gonna be a guest on my show.
Oh, yes, sir. All right.
Please.
Yeah.
It's the show I was telling you about the other day, dude. Nox Mente.
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
think, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. Well, no, because Adam and I were just talking the other day because I was doing a podcast with friend Orion, and we were doing a neighborhood nerd watch, and we started doing it for fun, and then it became work, so we quit. And so I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna go back to writing. I mean, I've got tons of crap I want to write about. I mean, today you know, I hate to bring up the whole gun thing, but you know, I got in a debate with somebody who actually survived Columbine, and they're pro-gun, and I'm like, what? You know, I just, you know,
Are they? Let me ask a contentious question real quick, just to kind of make sure this stays on point. Are they pro Second Amendment, or are they pro assault rifles and 30-round clips?
they want all this person, I'm not going to name names, but this person wanted teachers to have guns in the class, and you know, all this, you know, a lot of things that I find to be quite extreme. You know, they're like, well, there's other things that could be used as weapons, and I'm like, you could use a fucking pencil as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I could run into a school with a giant axe and like hack up a bunch of kids.
Or with a
A
bowl.
butcher knife.
Well, they take away guns, they're going to make bombs.
You know,
well, the
no,
argument, well, no, that was part and parcel of the argument was, well, if teacher had a gun, then they could, the person couldn't shoot the students. I'm like, okay, let's run through that. The person comes in, they have a grenade. The teacher shoots them. Before that person dies, they pull the pin, grenade still goes off.
Mhm.
I mean, you know,
Right.
so even if the teacher has a gun, it's still, you know, slim to, you
And
know,
we'd also have to start paying to get every single teacher trained with a firearm and go through all this
ding,
stuff.
ding, ding,
That's-
And the very first time a teacher misses an assailant and hits a student,
it's
the
that-
shit will
yeah.
hit the fan. So,
Yeah,
you
can
know.
use guns.
So-
That's great.
so you guys read my thread. That's
The
No,
underlying thing,
pretty much what I said was,
No, man, we just still have sense. I would call it common, but it isn't these days.
no, there's no such thing as common sense.
No, it
And that's
doesn't
the
exist
thing.
now.
with the kid in Florida, his mother had just died. He was a foster kid, and he was autistic, and he wasn't on his medication. And that's when you start injecting SSRI and other brain chemistry drugs into people and then deny them that stuff. For them to have a psychotic break and for this to happen is logical, unfortunately.
well, it doesn't even have to go that far. I mean, I have grand mal epilepsy. I'm not allowed to drive a car, but I can get a gun license.
Right. And
And
that's wrong.
and to me, that a car is way more dangerous in a sense that, you know, you could go through a crowd and kill, you know, 20, 30 people within what, 30 seconds?
I'll see that
know-
20 and raise you 10 more.
Right.
See, yeah, see, so it's, you know, I mean,
I got me a score, 33.
And that's the
Did you guys ever
problem.
see
Like,
that movie, The Frighteners, where the dude was like trying to get a higher score of dead people?
yeah, where they were all etched on the foreheads with
Yes.
the, yeah.
Excellent film.
With
Excellent
the,
film.
with the drill sergeant, you piece of crap.
back in your grave.
And the cowboy. Now here's 20 trivia points if you can tell me who the cowboy was
In what movie?
in The Frighteners.
Oh,
Remember-
it was John Aston. Gomez.
Wow, I am impressed. Wow.
that's scary for you.
Father of Samwise Gamgee.
Wow. Check out the trivia on you.
Check out the
Damn.
big brain on Cthulhu. Dude, my knowledge base is vast, but it's very shallow.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Kebertzella.
I don't know what that is.
Alex Trebek backwards. Send him home, man. Send him home.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I don't do backwards. I do spoonerisms. That's my shtick.
No, it's a Family Guy reference.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a family
Yeah.
guy.
Where Adam West gets him to say his name backwards. And he's like, that's the only way you can get him back to his own
I
dimension.
did see that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Adam West was the best thing on Family Guy. I'm sorry. He was just, you
Yeah.
know,
No, too true, man. Too true.
when he's taking a piss at the urinal, he goes to shake it, and the guy from the FCC is like, one shake, that's all you get. And Adam West goes, he goes, thank you, Tinkle Fairy.
One shake.
I
Anymore is masturbation.
It is. It's true.
Well, look, man, if all it takes you guys is like,
Well,
two
doesn't that
shakes-
depend on whose penis you're shaking?
I was gonna say that's
Just curious. Like I'm just saying.
but Orion's not here to defend himself, so.
Ryan who?
Orion.
Oh, Ryan. That's the hunter.
My
former co-host.
I think one of John
Orion
Aston's-
is the other Adam.
well, what had happened was, they wanted us. They wanted Orion and I on Shift Happens, and we go on Shift Happens, and it ends up that they thought it was going to be me and Adam, and not Orion and I. And so they're like, we ended up calling him the other Orion, or the other Adam, and Adam is the other Orion. Uh-oh. Is everybody?
I'm trying to work that whole thing out in my head.
Yeah, they thought Adam was going to show up, but it was Orion. So Orion ended up being
the second.
other. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Forever or just that one show?
No, that's what his Twitter handle is now. Orion's Twitter handle is the other Adam.
They keep trying to convince me that I need to reclaim my Twitter account, and I keep saying, no, I don't miss social media. Go away.
I hate Twitter. I'm sorry, I can't stand that.
I quit last January. Last January, I got rid of Facebook, got rid of Twitter, got rid of all my social media. This is the closest thing I get to social media. This and Discord, D&D with my friends, podcasting, occasionally with all of you guys. That's it.
I'm sure life is a lot less stressful.
I have to tell you, I think just in the first week, it was like being able to breathe again. And it's weird. You don't realize, I think, when you see your social media constantly, you don't realize how continuous the barrage of negative bullshit is until it's just not, it's just not there.
You have to learn to use the algorithms in your advantage and block things, I think. I keep my Facebook very PC and friendly with my friends, but I can't do the Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat stuff because it's too... People just want to go into attack mode.
Oh, I love Twitter.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this TV show, The Magicians? I think Grim
Yes.
turned me onto it, right? So do you remember the dude who played that Reynard?
Yeah.
The fox?
Mhm.
Okay, that is
the trickster.
The trickster. That is Sean Astin's little brother.
Really?
Mackenzie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I knew there was one more Astin in my head.
I found out that what's his name, Ewan McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
His little brother is in the Royal Air Force, and they call him Obi-2.
Why?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
Ewan McGregor was Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Oh. Dun-dun-dun. Oh, tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Oh dear Lord, what have you sent me?
Just an IMDb page to that dude.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
he doesn't look like Sean Astin.
Goatsy.
So, his dad would be John Astin.
I can see him from your computer, so I'm good.
Let me put it over here for you. Is that better?
Oh, hey, look at that! Wow.
Oh, much nicer.
Future.
Wait.
Got a good look at him now.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. Who said that in chat? He does look like Snake Plissken, doesn't he? He could be like the new Snake Plissken.
Oh God, they could never. They can't redo that.
Oh, but they.
Oh, they shouldn't have done it the first time.
Blasphemy.
It's not blasphemy. It's good taste, and you're just sorry that you don't have it. Good God, man.
Oh my God. Real.
I told you, Adam is fine.
I don't even know you right now. Talking about my John Carpenter films like that. Whatever.
Hey, look, just because the guy's name is John Carpenter doesn't mean he doesn't make some standard crappy movies. And let's face it, Snake Plissken and all the surrounding stuff, crap, dude, total crap.
And everyone's
You could
brainwashed
say
by
that
Laurel Canyon, Dave McGowan, and the esoteric Hollywood.
You could say that of almost every John Carpenter movie.
Actually, you really could, actually.
Oh my God.
Who's the other one? Robert W. Sullivan, Robert S. Sullivan, or something. He does a lot of the esoteric shit, finding symbolism in movies, Hollywood symbolism.
Oh,
Yeah, Robert
I don't
Sullivan,
like
yeah.
that guy.
You know, I like how people who couldn't really hold down an actual job in the world can do something like that and get a paycheck for it. It's really wonderful.
I'm sorry, when someone starts going off onto the
That's
symbolism, numerology, astrotheology world just a little too far, I can't pay attention more than 5 seconds.
Me either. I'm like, you know, there's I think it's like there's only a certain depth of that particular swimming water that is swimmable. The rest of it is absolute crap. It's like, you know, you could not be reaching more if you were literally just sitting down with your own notebook and making shit up. Come on.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to bring up Stanley Kubrick.
I don't think these two look anything alike, by the way.
Do you think that Kubrick faked the moon landings? Boom, boom, boom.
I think the man.
It's unknowable.
The man lived on symbolism.
Oh, I agree totally.
I mean, you know.
Dr. Michael just brought up the God helmet of Michael A. Persinger. That's an interesting research right there.
Yeah, it is.
From Beyond. I love From Beyond. That's a great movie.
From Beyond. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's a
That is.
Philip K. Dick.
The main character in that movie in
It's Philip K. Dick.
No, it's not. It's Lovecraft.
You said Philip.
You said Dick.
You said Philip.
No, the actor Jeffrey Combs is the main character in From Beyond. He's also the FBI
He's
guy
the voice.
in the
He's the
Frighteners.
voice. He's also the voice of the question.
What
He's
question?
also the Reanimator.
He's
and
the
3
Reanimator.
different characters on
Yes.
Star Trek.
Yes.
He's also Batman.
He's blue. No, he's not. Hey, Phil.
Phil, what's
I heard
up, buddy?
heavy breathing coming from somewhere. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Yes.
I was like, where's that breeze?
It's coming off
It's
his
not a
ass.
breeze. It's my face breathing air.
Because you never got a pop filter for that high sensitive mic.
Don't need a pop filter.
Pop
Yeah, see,
filters are for.
Again.
Sorry, that was.
Okay, sorry, I'm not using my mic correctly.
Sorry. It's okay,
It-
buddy.
It's funny to see how the screen works because it's like it goes from, you know, it goes from the last name and then the very last name on the screen is fuck.
Classic failed.
It's like Gordon, Lee, Jerry, Nomad, Adam, fuck.
I give up.
Keep it spontaneous.
There's like an acronym in there somewhere. You know what I mean? What?
Who's got the biggest what?
We need
Balls? Talking about balls? So what's going on with To the Stars, guys? I haven't heard much coming from old DeLong going on.
They were taken over by the Dark Alliance.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
I am the dark.
I know you are.
He probably made enough money and didn't have to.
What?
Quick, someone get the blue avian Spider-Man. He'll fix everything. Oh, fuck all. Jeez.
I'm waiting for Nibiru still.
Oh my god.
September 25th. It's coming.
Yay!
Hey, how do you? Hey
Light
guys,
clock.
how do you make the picture for yourself?
Oh,
I
Like,
think you might have to have an account with Zoom.
there's two ways to do
Oh.
it. You have an account on Zoom. You can set it there. You signed in with Google or Facebook or something like that. Would be that's where you would do it. Nibiru's
I have-
here. We are it. Right?
Does Jerry sound quiet to everybody else?
Am I quiet?
Oh yeah, you are a little quiet right there. Yeah,
I was enjoying that.
it was soothing. Nice. Fuck shit.
Shit, fuck.
No, it disappeared.
Oh.
The window.
What are you trying to find?
Trying to find. I know where it is.
Is there any new conspiracies that are fun?
Talking over.
Fun.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Is this any better?
Pick one.
Oh yeah, you sound great, Jer.
All right, cool. Yeah, I had when I jumped up and yelled in my microphone, it set my auto adjust way down. That pink thing's cool. Anyway,
So I'm gonna be cooped up in here for another week.
there's no conspiracies that I know of
What? There's always a conspiracy.
that I've heard this week.
That he's heard this. See,
No,
let
you were
him
just
clarify. I mean, that
you were
he's heard
just
this.
talking about that shooting in Florida. It was
We're not talking about that tonight.
okay.
Let's talk about the Department of Education and Betsy DeVos then. And is there a conspiracy there with her brother being Eric French?
Oh dear
Prince,
God.
Prince, right?
Prince, yep.
Probably, but we don't care. None of us
Can't-
have kids in
can't-
school.
Well, I do, but I mean, can't we talk about like a conspiracy that's fluffy? Like, I mean,
Aliens.
no.
Maybe this
Oh
too
dear
easy.
God. No, do I sound like Linda Moulton Howe?
No,
Come on.
I don't know what's fluffy to you.
How about the Fitbit data that got tracked in Antarctica? Like who's
That-
walking there?
That was hysterical
And
That was good.
subsequently disappeared.
because
Yeah.
no, my wife's doctor told her to buy one of those things. And so I got one for her. And then the story broke about how they're tracking and there's a whole map. And I'm like, okay, turn that thing off. We're never using it again. I mean, all the strange things to happen. I mean, who would think that something as simple as a Fit watch could give away classified information?
Anybody who would realize that
Me,
it
me,
reports
me.
location with GPS, for crap's sake, that's who.
Pretty much any piece of technology you have, you should automatically assume that you're getting tracked and put into some kind of database. There's no anonymity.
I'm not
Thank
sure.
you.
I'm not sure if I just got insulted or complimented. Someone said that I sound like a young Joe Rogan.
Interesting.
That would be a compliment.
Okay, that'd be a okay. Just to clarify.
So what
All right.
happened with this Fitbit thing?
Well, the Fitbit watch was supposed to tracks your heart rate,
Yeah.
how many miles you walk, the whole spiel. And it turns out a lot of military people were wearing it, and it mapped out some of these classified bases via satellite.
Which
Whoops.
I'm now showing on the stream.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, this will all boil down to the wave of the future that's coming that we can't really get around. That's something I've been talking about with people for a while. It's called biometrics and facial recognition
Biometrics has been around for years.
and the RFID chip being necessary for your identification.
Yeah.
Jerry, sorry.
Hmm?
So are
Well,
you going to be chipped or carry around a chip in your driver's license because the government mandates it or not?
Well, there's an episode of Black Mirror where they had people chipping their kids,
Right.
and it's like, how close are we to that? Like literally.
No, I know.
mean,
Like I said,
No,
I was
we're
always
here.
how
People are
big you can
voluntarily
stop.
getting chipped. It's already here. I mean,
Like I said, they actually, don't they call this Agenda 2030?
yeah.
Dun dun
It
dun.
used to be Agenda 21, but then they ran out of time.
Have you seen the 2045.com webpage?
No, that's the Singularity one, though, right?
Yeah, you can build your own avatar, download your brain onto a neural network.
Whatever. They're
Yeah,
not
it's
going to
kinda-
be able to ever do that.
Are you?
Oh, look, it's still here.
D-Wave. How do you feel about the D-Wave AI black goo?
I don't like it, and we can talk about that in a second. That is a good thing
Okay.
to talk. This is a signature, I guess you'd call it, from a Fitbit that made this map. And I think the way this heat map works is if you have a Fitbit, the more you go over the same path, it gets hotter. So when you look at these paths, these heat map things, you're looking at more traveled paths by people with Fitbits.
I see. Okay.
So obviously in the city, you're going to get.
I see when downloading like my memory and my personality to a computer, I get like the envisionment from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, where like, no, Fraulein, and then like me bringing up like horrible memes of, Michael Jackson,
Eat it.
Disney got cryo frozen, didn't he?
Allegedly, that's allegedly. We never really heard if he did or not.
What was it? Him and John Wayne and like a handful of people are, because there used to be the joke about them being TV dinners and all that.
Ooh, got fixed up. Cool.
Would
Sorry, my video card is making this weird flicker thing. I'm just trying to turn it off. No fun without some kind of fuck up.
Now, I'm gonna make a request right now, dude. When I'm on your show in April, can we agree not to like dwell on what a credible conspiracy is?
We're not going to discuss it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, when Nish and you do that show is amazing.
It's thanks Lee. It's just the same. We only discuss dreams in relation to our questions.
Okay, groovy.
It's more like a grilling.
Okay.
So on here now, these are more heat maps. You can see like regular traffic to and from Antarctica from South America via the Drake Passage. But if you scroll over to the east, there's another seemingly trafficked area of Antarctica here along the ice shelf. And then also, if you drill down, there's some activity in here. And as I said, the darker the lines, the more red, the more traveled that path is. So there's more than one person doing this.
I have a question just out of curiosity because I haven't looked at that map yet. Is that the same area that the Germans called New Schwabenland at one point by any chance?
Good question. I thought all of Antarctica was New Schwabenland.
I thought in the treaty agreements they made with Mr. Eisenhower that there were certain things dictated. So I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole.
Well, I'll find out. Let's see, Antarctica map. Well, there's also like Elizabeth Land, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the Queen. Long live the Queen.
Is it on a regular map? Ah, shit.
Wow, I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't find that.
This image is 34K. Oh, whatever. It's good. Please let me see it. All right. Oh, you're not going to show me an ad first? All right, so that was... Do this here. And we'll get our heat map over here. All fancy, I know.
Thank you, Mr. High Tech.
Nah. So, where was it here? Let's see. All right, so here up the Ross Sea, and this is beneath New Zealand. So if we go back here, New Zealand will be over here. Oh. It's Victoria Land. So this area here is Victoria Land.
Okay, cool.
Right. And I don't see New Schwabenland on this map.
It was before that stuff, I think. I think that's a new one.
I thought I kept it. Here it is. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so this New Schwabenland is in the middle.
Oh, that's right. They went in there through those underground caverns, supposedly.
So it would be. Let's see.
I think there's either ancient remnants of an ancient civilization or a crashed alien ship.
It would be New
But it was
Schwabenland would
pyramid.
be okay, according to this map, it would be on the hump over here. So it would be right here. So yes, that's exactly New Schwabenland where that is.
Is it
I believe.
really?
Yep.
Cool. Very cool, Ed.
This area here is
Maybe they took over when Admiral Byrd went down there. Maybe that story has been twisted. Maybe Admiral Byrd didn't lose.
yeah, I don't know, dude.
I like to throw those wrenches in there every once in a while.
No, I mean, but don't forget about, Hitler's died in the 60s. He lived on in Argentina or Florida or wherever. Mengele is still alive, I heard today or 2 days ago.
Actually, here's a crazy story I heard from
Dr.
someone.
Green.
That Hitler died in 1940, no,
and they cloned him.
1948 or 1943, and his body double took his spot. And then the third body double was the one that the second body double killed and left in the pit, and he got on the submarine and went to Argentina.
It sounds like a horrible version of the Man in the Iron Mask.
Yeah, really. Really?
Yeah, but didn't the CIA come out and say that Hitler was in South America somewhere?
Yeah, dude, they had a whole thing on History Channel finding Hitler down there.
Boys from Brazil. Yeah, I was just going to talk about that. It's an interesting story.
Argentina, isn't it?
Yeah, Argentina off the coast where the Black Goo is.
I thought the Black Goo was under the Vatican.
It's in multiple places.
Okay.
There's a huge. This is allegedly what the part of the Balkans war. No, the war in Grenada. But help me out, somebody.
Grenada.
Great Britain wanted. They went in there and fought dudes.
Wasn't it the Falklands?
Falklands, thank you. Not the Balkans.
You're welcome.
The Falkland Islands. That war, according to, I forgot who said it, but it was Max Spears or John Irwin. One of those guys said something about it, that it was over the Black Goo. It might have been Harold.
I think so. Because I think I don't remember Black Goo being associated with Max except for when he OD'd and he spit up the blood and everyone said that was Black Goo.
Yeah, well, apparently there's some of it out in the water there, but if it's in the water, it's everywhere. I had heard the origin story of Black Goo. What I remember hearing was that it was basically came in a meteorite or a meteor that the Nazis got a hold of, and they somehow released it into the atmosphere. They got it out of the rock.
Like that?
Is there a difference between the Black Goo and synthetic nanoparticle oil?
Probably not.
Okay.
The Black Goo is supposedly a nanobot liquid, so it'd be a nanoparticulate liquid. But it's not a liquid, it's nanobots, just acting like a liquid.
Prometheus, Brandon's bringing
It's
up
the origin story.
Didn't Prometheus bring fire? Isn't he the fire starter?
He was. He gave fire to mankind. He's Enlil, as we discussed last night, whoever that was, with me. Who was that?
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, I'm that memorable.
Was it you?
Yeah, it was me and you.
There you go.
Dork.
I couldn't remember who it was. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
It's all right. I know it was late. It was like 4 a.m.
Isn't Prometheus' statue up in Rockefeller Center in New York?
Probably. Next to the Black Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Highfield, by the way.
I heard this dude today talking about how we are actually on Saturn, and that's the...
All right, getting back to that story. What's the asteroid belt?
The Kuiper Belt?
Yeah, the Kuiper Belt. Didn't that used to be Nibiru, maybe?
No, that was Tiamat. Or
Tiamat,
Marduk or Meldak or something like that. That the Pleiadians blew up because of AI or because of aliens. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, you don't believe the moon's a soul harvesting
No, it is.
grid to you.
I think there is something on the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
The Oblong Q in 2001: A Space Odyssey, by any chance?
Oh,
But
dude, I love that movie.
The Black
That was
Cube.
so awesome.
I think that's where the Black Cube stuff comes from, because you also have, what's that guy? He does the Saturn cubism stuff, but then the Kaaba stone in Mecca is a
Yep.
black asteroid. So
Yeah. Well, from when I was researching Black Cube a couple years ago, it seemed its origin was, everyone agreed, and I agree, it's a giant echo chamber. So that aside, everyone's common conclusion was that it came from outer space. It was an alien goo that came in asteroids or meteorites or things, and that's why a part of it is in the Kaaba. And these people even went so far as to say, when you kiss it, you could get some of these in you, these nanobots. And that's what's possibly driving the growth of Islam.
you know about the 5%ers?
No. Maybe.
You know about the 5% nation?
So, like, could you say the same thing about the Blarney Stone?
No, because I don't think that was a meteorite.
Right.
Well, yeah, but you know, it's that obsession with, you know, kissing.
Yeah, but the only thing you get from kissing the Blarney Stone, dude, is a mouthful of piss.
Right.
Herpes,
For crap's
probably.
sake.
The Kaaba has this meteorite placed in it in a ceremonial spot within the cube that they have to walk around 7 times and then kiss it.
Well, no, the only reason I brought
It's a
up the
ritual.
Blarney Stone is because everyone says you kiss the Blarney Stone and you get all this good luck and you feel younger and blah 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 blah. So that's the
Do you know
only
about this?
Mine
Do you know
doesn't
about the stone
matter.
of?
Well, yeah, but that's because tourists kiss it. So,
Right.
of course, Irishmen piss on it. Think about this.
Do you know about
And
the
then they
stone of
laugh at the
stone?
dumb tourists.
You got to hang it upside down and kiss it too, I think. Don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Handing keg stands.
For it to work properly.
So Lady Zaga just brought up an interesting point that there's Earth black goo. So she's separating. Did I put that in there? I wanted to say the greatest potential. Stephen King, when he touches that thing, the green shit, and he burns his finger, and he goes, "Ew, meteor shit."
yeah.
Who knows about the stone of scone?
What is it? The
Wait,
ballad.
wait. Let me finish about the goo. She says that there's 2 types. There's Earth goo and this black goo. It's called alien goo.
Yeah, there's some new gray goo out there too. I'm hearing about.
Well, gray goo is a theory, and that was, back in the 60s, they theorized that if nanobots were made that were programmed poorly and they could swarm and everything would just become, if they were smart enough to eat things and grow, then everything would just turn into gray goo because this nanobot swarm would just eat everything in its path and turn it into gray goo.
The Ballad of Geordie something.
Yeah, but wasn't that a movie too with Keanu Reeves?
Geordie Rose, Ballad of Geordie Rose.
Was
Oh,
it?
my D-Wave computer is a black cube.
No, when
good
from Creep
It'd be
Show,
Grey Goo.
it was the Ballad of Geordie something. Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
wonder what the rainbow goo does.
Makes everybody happy.
What is rainbow goo?
Turns you into a My Little Pony.
Brody.
God, don't go there. Brody's weird.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bronies, that falls into like that whole plushy thing too. Like it's just something I can't wrap my head around.
I found a ballad of Princess Geordie, rather.
No, let's see. Let me look it up.
Oh, it's Stephen King. Geordie Verrill. There you go.
Geordie Verrill. Yeah,
The Loathsome Death of Yeah, it's the meteor guy.
Jody
Meteor
Verrill,
shit.
you lunkhead.
Yeah.
God, I love that movie.
I liked it when I first saw it. Now it's kind of cheesy.
Have you? But off topic. Have you seen Adrienne Barbeau lately?
No, is she still hot?
She looks the same as she did in 1980. I don't know what I don't know.
Baby's blood.
It's like I don't know what she does, but she's got to put it in a bottle and sell it because
Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome. No, I think it's the blood that keeps them young.
Yeah,
Adrenalized blood. Yeah,
it's
a virgin females from
what's
the
that?
Aryan bloodline.
Freddy Krueger used to say it was the souls of the children, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard someone last night talking about I don't want to get in trouble or get pulled off the air, but talking about Johnny Depp, how he shows up like right before people die sometimes to parties. Like show up to was it the Denise? What was it O'Riordan? What was her name? Dolores O'Riordan.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
He showed up like the night before in Ireland for somebody's birthday party.
There's so many weird stories with him.
I know.
Marilyn Manson, the West Memphis Three, to bring up William Ramsey's work.
Well, yeah, there's that.
River Phoenix was the other one that he showed.
Yeah,
up.
I was gonna say the Viper Room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Viper Room. Yeah, which is his place, right?
Didn't he OD'd on the speedball shot that he took, the liquefied stuff?
Allegedly.
Yeah. And then there's the twin girls. The girls from what's that show that's tied into that story?
I don't know. I just heard it for the first time last
Full
night.
House.
Yeah, the twins from the Full House that were.
Oh, the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
The Olsen twins.
Yeah,
That's
there it is.
really messed
I
up.
heard there are a couple of little spinners.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the joke. There was a joke. How did you hear? How did they know that Vic Morrow had dandruff?
Oh God, this is gonna be horrible. Okay, how?
They found his head and shoulder in the bushes.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Oh, see.
Ta-da.
Oh my God!
Come on.
Wow.
It's not too soon. It's been like 30
Good
years.
one, Jer.
Hey, that kind of wood doesn't float. Natalie Wood.
Oh.
Do I want to do something right now and be really on point about Oprah Winfrey and Harvey Weinstein and Dr. Phil? I hate Dr. Phil. Sorry. He's on Harpo Productions.
Who do you hate more, him or Dr. Oz?
I can't. That's a good question. And then since they're both basically snake oil salesmen selling their own product, which I have a huge issue with Dr. Phil's Turnabout Ranch, which is a troubled teen wilderness camp.
He's not a real doctor.
I know that, but he makes a ton of money off of institutionalization of kids. And that girl that just made $1 million Atlantic album, Cash Me Outside girl, got famous off of him.
You know, I don't even believe in Christian hell, but those motherfuckers deserve a special place in it. They are pieces of shit.
Thank you.
Charlatan scamming pieces of fucking filth.
There may not be a hell dimension, but there could be. If enough people believed in it and feared it.
Well, I am from Oakland, so yeah, there is a hell.
No, but I mean, I've heard people say that there used to be an actual place that's where Dante went. 9 levels of hell.
Yeah, I was going to say Dante's Inferno, the Labyrinth with the Minotaur.
Yeah, it was like a fake astral.
Not everything is
projection
real.
The Hollow Earth, my friend.
Lizards.
I was going to take it back and just say San Pablo Avenue in Oakland, but then again, I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, like the years I went to high school, we were the murder capital of the U.S.
Where'd you go to high school?
Oakland Technical High School in Oakland, California.
No, Gangbang Central. I mean, Karu, Gangster Disciples, that shit is not a game there.
My freshman year of high school, we had over 400 murders in 1 year.
Holy shit. So I'm from Oklahoma. I went to, and that stuff to me is like night and day.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's, and it was so funny because that same year was the year I met Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson because they came to film a movie at my high school. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? I need to film a movie at a high school. I'm going to go to the murder capital of the world and test my luck. I mean, I thought it to be ridiculous, but whatever.
Well, I'm actually kind of a fan of Whoopi's work, even though I can really, her recent stuff on The View, that is the most divisive television show I think there is.
Joy Behar is a fucking play.
It's designed to be divisive.
No joke. I literally tell my mother, those bitches are the devil every freaking day.
Thank you. Gosh.
But they're meant to cause drama. That's the whole point.
But they divide the women's groups into different sections, and then they get them infighting.
Yes.
And like a citizen right now, I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt about it. I've been worried about race riots happening due to the propaganda that they've been doing
Never going to happen.
to build the wall.
These
I
people
know.
are too fucking lazy to get up off their couch to go.
Well, no,
protest.
look. Let me tell you, and usually, I joke around and stuff, but I'm being dead serious. This is how it's going to happen. It's going to happen the same thing with the Me Too movement as it is with the gun control. It's going to get a lot of lip service for a while, and then a whole lot of nothing is going to happen.
Well, yeah, because the news cycle only lasts so long. Something else will come up and get everybody to forget about
The
it.
next distraction.
Well, no, I mean, look, since Las Vegas, there was that big shooting in Las Vegas, and there's
Thank
all
you.
this talk about gun control, and we've got to do this and we got to do that, and oh my God, look, Jennifer Aniston. I mean,
Right, but
Yeah.
you
Oh,
got
shit,
to
the
realize
Pentagon's investigating aliens.
the people who are most vocal about gun control aren't people who are responsible for putting it in place.
well, yeah, but what I'm saying is people are easily distracted. They're going to move on to the next bright and shiny thing.
I don't think so. I think what happened in Vegas is not done by a long shot. I think the stuff with Paddock and his brother and their little place out there with the pedophilia stuff
That's all shady.
is.
I think one of his brothers is actually him. The
I do
got-
too.
The guy
I
who got
think so as
busted
well.
with the child porn. I think that was
Yeah.
Stephen Paddock. I don't think Paddock died in that room. Especially
No, I
the
think
autopsy doesn't
killed
match.
beforehand.
The
Right,
auto-
but I think the guy who was killed beforehand, I do definitely think it was a gun running thing.
It was something. It was some kind of Fast and Furious thing. Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's fuckery
I
written all
definitely-
over it, and the more they push the bogus story, the more disgusted it'll be.
But it's, I mean, I'm more to the point of the fact that there's all this lip service regardless, no matter what the topic is. There's going to be a whole lot of lip service and then a whole lot of no action. And then the next big monstrosity is going to happen, and there's going to be a whole lot of lip service and no action. And it's going to be rinse, lather, repeat.
Okay, but with the Fusion GPS, the indictments against the 13 Russians, funny number 13 there again, and the Clinton Foundation's connections through Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
How about just the Clinton Foundation's illegality and fraud?
Right.
I mean,
Everybody knows about Maine, Arkansas now. How can you not? I mean, like I said, it's almost, it's gotten to be such a joke that it's almost sad that we all know they laundered money, laundered guns for drugs and stuff through what I do believe George Bush set up in MENA. And the fact that I was arguing with people before the election about just the blood bank scandal alone, to me, was flabbergasting. And I'm sitting going, this is history, people. How do you all not know this stuff? It was on 2020.
this the woman that was on Aaron's show last night. I forgot her name. Influence peddler or something like that. I forgot her name. Anyway, she was talking about how after 9/11, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to give blood," and all her friends were giving blood and everything. And now she's like, "Oh my God, where did that blood go?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know what? You look at all these scandals and all these, distractions. It goes back to when I was a kid. I mean, fucking, we had the Iran Contra scandal. What became of that? Oh yeah, a
No.
whole lot of nothing.
Now it's the I want.
A1.
No, there was Contra.
The Iron Contras,
Yeah,
and then
right,
the
right,
Fast
right.
and Furious.
Right now,
And
now
then-
Awan Contra.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
again, what happened to that trial? It's like totally disappeared.
What trial?
Well,
Question mark.
Imran
Back.
Iran's trial.
No, that's kind of
Yeah.
my point. Is
I agree. It was a mockery of a trial.
well, okay, let's bring up the really contentious stuff that connects to all this stuff because of the Bundy trial being let out, the Levon Whitaker Oregon standoff, and the BML, Bureau of Land Management, grab of land for uranium. And Pete Santilli, just to throw someone under the bus real quick, because I can't stand Pete Santilli either. For some reason, everyone likes that guy. He was involved in that Oregon standoff stuff, and he went to jail for a while, and he's supposedly an insider for the opposition.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what controversy, quote unquote controversy, you're talking about. I wrote about most of them. I wrote about Jonestown. I wrote about Heaven's Gate. And you know what? there were things that were outstanding, outlandish in these in some of the documents, and they just went ignored. So it's going to be the same thing. I mean, history repeats itself whether you want it to or not.
Now, I agree 100% over. I'm going to go off into a little bit of a left field here real quick because you brought up Jonestown and Sandy Hook and all that stuff. And I think because of the Franklin conspiracy stuff and other stuff that I've researched into, we are on the brink of another satanic panic. That the processed church, prosperity gospel stuff is being discussed too out in the open these days. And with all the rampant new age cults in America that are out there that are so easy to identify through the 501c3 multi-level marketing stuff that's been coming out since Herbalife and all them got kind of popped, is exactly why things are the way they are, because of the insurance industries and big farm and prison industrial and everything.
Well, I mean, you look at, if these things like with this kid in Florida, for example, with Jonestown, with Heaven's Gate, et cetera, there were warning signs out the ass. There were people, saying, hey, look, something's going on. In Jonestown alone, there were over 40 different participants who were like, you know what? Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. And,
right.
And look what happened. I mean, and there were so many red lights that we could have taken and blamed on the government and said, hey, how come you didn't get them out on time? But they get conveniently swept underneath the carpet.
So that's a hard one with the senator that survived the massacre and stuff, and all them writing the books and doing the documentaries on that stuff.
Survived.
After that,
Well, she didn't become a senator till after the whole thing. She was the senator's assistant at the time.
Correct. You're correct. Yeah. No, my friend was her assistant, actually. That's why I kind of know.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm sorry. Misunderstood. I'm okay.
And then because people don't bring it to current times with the Branch Davidian, Waco Davidian story with the Oklahoma City bombing, which started the war on terror, which basically is the reason we have issues with the funneling of money into these different departments of justice, and all that stuff. And it gets very complicated. Like I said, I can't deny that at this point because, like I said, I was researching this stuff and I kind of started seeing stuff that was a little bit too close to home, we'll say. And there is a huge, with King Cheeto being who he is and the Protestant evangelist.
Wait, that cartoon cheetah?
I'm talking about Chester? King Cheeto. No, King Cheeto, the Trumpster.
I don't know that. Oh,
okay. Our president.
I got it. Uh-huh.
So, like I said, an evangelist movement that's going on right now in America with the DACA kids and that stuff is so serious. And that's why I'm sitting there going, I don't like making jokes about how liberal and sensitive people are being for the last 6 months, but that's the truth right now.
All I see happening is a bunch of fucking butthurt liberals who are so used to everything being so politically correct. And the era of political correctness is over. And now they're all getting triggered left and right and can't handle it.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that bothers me to the hilt because, I'm a registered independent. I'm very vocal about my political views. I think you have 4 different sides of the platform because you've got the extreme left, the extreme right, the regular left, and then, people like me who are just independent. But the other 4 parties, it's like you have the extremists. Like in California, you can't have plastic bags. You have to buy the canvas bags. I mean,
no, I could.
We have plastic bags. You have to buy them.
Every bit of our lives is being monetized,
and it's a matter of that's
here
great.
In California, let me ask you an on-point question. Do you know about SB 277 and SB 18 there?
I haven't been back home in centuries.
Okay. No, that's the 2 vaccination, the mandatory vaccination law and the kids' law stuff. It's kind of, to me, like I says, I'm very conservative from Oklahoma, but I'm also a hippie, so I can't deny that aspect. So when they started talking about mandatory that the kids can't go to school unless they have all their shots, blah blah blah, I'm sitting there going, well, the Amish kids don't agree with that. So that's kind of against. And then I was considering going, okay, but I see why they are doing this, funneling the money through this stuff over there now. And California with the whole, they want to split off into 2 different states now, and the AUMA law that with the recreational marijuana stuff is such a huge issue that it's going to affect the rest of our country because the economy of California is so big, it affects the rest of our government.
Well, you have so many extremes. You have, like Texas, every year it sounds like, oh, well, Texas wants to secede from the United States. That's an extreme right point of view. You have, well, I mean, like myself, my son is not vaccinated. I do not believe in vaccines.
We're on the same page.
And as opposed to my neighbor, his kids are vaccinated. My son gets sick about once a year. His kids get sick about once every 3 months. And my kid's the one who's not vaccinated. So do the math,
No, there's been some studies coming out recently that I've talked to because I'm friends with Dale Bigtree and those guys that are anti-vaxxer people. And we don't agree on every aspect of that stuff. But the aluminum residuals causing Alzheimer's long-term through like influenza shots and stuff is something I would like for there to be more understanding about. So yeah, that's why until I know more information at this point, I'm just going to be very open and honest about the fact that I have a lot of questions that doctors can't answer.
Well, I can, back to my original point. I mean, I can have a sensible, reasonable conversation with somebody who's just a regular liberal or just a regular conservative. But the minute they get to super mega extreme right or extreme left, that's when I start to get the problem. I mean, you have a Republican Party that is so far from its origin that it's astounding. We're talking about the Republican Party that freed the slaves.
Correct.
And now they're anti-minority and you look. I mean, the other day I read an article about some guy who's lived here for 40 years and he's getting deported. He's been here paying taxes, contributing to the community, and now he's getting deported because his papers aren't in order.
No, and that's why I have a huge issue because they were using those recipients for votes, supposedly. And that's why this whole snafu and propaganda about the Russian influence and stuff is almost coming down to that reason, I think.
Right. No, I totally agree. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
And can you break the left-right paradigm that's been set up here because people are so polarized at this time?
Exactly. I could not agree with you more. That's you really got it on point. We're taught as, you are conservative, you are liberal, and you hate the right and you hate the left. And it's, I mean, Bill Maher has some good points, but he's a bit too extreme for my taste. He's
I understand.
He's a snowflake liberal.
Well, but that's the whole thing is if he were a couple shades less liberal, then he'd just be a regular liberal. But he's an extremist liberal, just as there's extremist GOPers. I mean, look at the whole Bundy Ranch fiasco.
Well, when you get to the extremes of either side, they become the same thing. Like it's that circle. Like it's the same.
Well,
Circle jerk. More like
it is.
I'm still waiting to see what comes out about the Bundy Ranch because they're Muslims. I mean, Mormons, excuse me. Sorry.
Same difference.
Yeah. And so, like I said, there's that story isn't over with by a long shot. Like I said, Goodman was out there release stuff. And while I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, I follow him. So
I never heard that. I thought you hated him.
Well, once again, I think he is.
Mossad.
No. I think I think he's made Quinn Michaels into something he shouldn't be. How's that for an answer?
I'm all on board with that.
We make fun of Q for a reason.
Well, you know what? You could almost make a song out of it if you think about it. You know, you take the theme, you know, of my favorite things, you know, Muslims and Mormons and Christians and Catholics. You know, you could do.
That's perfect.
I mean,
my God, that is so perfect because that is so true right now.
Well, no, because
they weaponized gangster rap through COINTELPRO. You know that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that was a deal between the record labels and the private prisons back in the early 90s or late 80s or something to create gangster rap just to fill up these private prisons. Like, there's actually documented meetings where they had this.
Free away, Ricky Ross.
Okay, and since we're on the topic of this, okay, Tupac is from Oakland, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he came off like he was this big, bad gangsta. Now, I knew guys in high school who used to kick his ass on a weekly basis. So he was no gangster.
He got pressed a lot because of his mother being a Black Panther.
Yeah, who was excommunicated by the Black Panthers, by the by.
Yeah, I know.
This is different from the Black Panther in the movie in the theaters now, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. The OG Black Panther you're talking about.
And well, when he died back home, the joke was, you know what Tupac is spelled backwards, right?
Kaput.
Kaput.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But that's the whole.
He was not loved back home.
No, but we were just talking about what's his name doing that interview. Quincy Jones. Who was Tupac dating?
Brando and Richard Pryor.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
But Alicia Keys, I think, was Tupac dating, and that was a big record label issue there with Def Jam, and that started the West Coast versus East Coast rivalry between Biggie and him, which they promoted and used for record sales. I mean, I did. It says this is the whole reason Bad Boy Records became what it is, and that was the whole Dr. Dre Puffy beef. And then like it says 50 and Ja Rule and all, because a lot of people don't. I've followed music a lot for a long time, so a lot of people didn't realize that stuff. And now we've got people like KRS-One, Dr. or Professor Griff out there promoting and doing stuff that I don't disagree with because of the history of America being what it is and allowing freedom of speech, but
allegedly
the fact that they're promoting New Wabi, and this is my thing, is I don't even like to talk about this stuff because I don't get it. It has to do with African Bambaataa and Brother Polite and all this conscious community of these people that I don't, like I said, is I don't get this stuff. It's insane. The stuff these people started telling me about, and then they brought up melanin of all things, and I'm like, what does this have to do, or not? What's this pigment for your skin?
Melanin.
Okay.
Melatonin.
There you go.
No, it's
Thank you.
melanin.
The second one.
It's just
helps you sleep.
Well,
that's serotonin. Melatonin.
Okay.
Melanin is
right.
skin pigment.
By the way, what is it, lady? What is it? I'm looking for ladies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's rapping the Bad Boys theme from Cops. Okay. Sorry. Anyway.
So they brought up this stuff to me, and I was sitting there going, "Do you know that stuff's worth more than gold?" And they're making these skin, and I was like, "On what?" And that's when they started talking about that stupid, what's her name, spirit cooking stuff. Sorry,
Marina Abramovich.
Yeah. And so, like I said, that's kind of what triggered me a year ago. Going, holy shit, this stuff's all freaking true. These people go to these cannibal clubs, and
but that's the thing. It triggered a bunch of people into believing all that shit was true, and it still could all be fake.
Well, like I said, it was when Comet Ping Pong happened. It did.
It did.
And then someone made the retraction because there was no basement there, but that guy still ran in there and shot one shot.
They do have a basement.
Yeah, dude. Guy Fieri uncovered that on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yeah,
they talked.
They have a basement.
They have a basement? I thought they had a back room.
No, they got.
There's a basement.
Well,
they tried to say it. Oh, basement. They
No.
tried back.
The only thing I'll say about that is there was allegedly some hacker who broke into a server there and stole a bunch of child porn that was hidden behind like a login wall. He broke through it, and he downloaded all the shit, and he gave it to the Washington Police Department, the DC cops, and they've been sitting on it ever since. However, when that idiot went in there and shot the place up, the one bullet he fired hit the hard drive of that computer and destroyed it.
Yeah, that's 1 in a million shot there.
Yeah, amazing.
So, like I says, I don't know, and I don't like, but I just, like I says, I regurgitate what other people have said about David Brock and James Alefantis
They
and that
dated.
stuff.
They fucked each other.
And it's something I said that I think I want it to be looked into more, because while I agree that Mr. Jones needed to make the retraction for his legal rights, there's still something there.
Why was Alefantis going to the White House to visit Obama?
Hot dogs, man, hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Well,
Farmer hot dog.
first of all, I want to say that, to state the mental image of Brando with Richard Pryor is just like the most disgusting thing ever.
Dude, Pryor had like a 12-inch cock.
Okay. Well, apparently Milton Berle holds the record. Apparently, like, women were afraid of his dick. And I'm not even joking about that. There's like legends about him, like women turning him down.
Folk tales.
Brando? Turn Brando now?
No, Milton Berle.
Why?
Because his schlong was like as big as like a leg. I mean,
Oh, so it's like a fucking deformity.
he had like another leg, and like women would turn him down because they're like, yeah, I want to keep my innards, thank you.
Tripod.
By the way, in case I haven't said it, I know Steak and Jerry have it, but if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, I am at Gordon Roop. So
I will drop it into.
Yeah, well, I gotta keep plugging myself, man. I mean, like, nobody's gonna promote me but me.
Yeah, true. And like I said, in this group, I think we need to promote the people that are keeping it honest and doing good work here, because of the fact that we have seen a few people in the last year promoting
Blue Avians,
Stargates, Nibiruians, and all that other craziness. So yeah.
I love how Jerry's sharing his screen, so we're all looking at him. Google Milton Burrows dick right now.
I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, dude. I tried messaging you in Zoom saying you've been sharing your Zoom settings.
Oh yeah,
There's
I'm
no...
doing a slideshow. They're not my setting. They're not, I know I wasn't showing anything sensitive. I know that.
I know.
There's a setting in here somewhere that'll allow
No rules.
that will show my video when I speak,
Ah.
and that's what I'm looking for.
See, that's what happens to me whenever someone talks. My screen switches to whoever's talking.
That's because you're in speaker view. Change to gallery view.
It's in the upper right.
Upper
you can
right.
Change to gallery view. Oh, Mac's in here. What's up, Mac?
Wait, hold
Oh,
on.
so is Michael. Hey, Michael.
It says either close or pop out.
What?
When I click on Zoom group chat, it says
No,
close.
no, not that. Close it. Close that. And then on
Okay.
the window where you see people talking, on the upper right hand corner.
Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. Okay. Oh, that is so much better. Oh,
Amazing thing.
now I'm not getting. Okay, you know what? Who's making fun of me? Fuck you.
Nobody is.
I don't know how it
But-
works either, man.
Fuck you and everybody who looks like you.
And smells like you. I hate those guys.
Wormwood.
I
That
can't-
reminds me of this cake party I went. Never mind.
Cake. I love cake.
Keg, not cake.
Oh.
Keg.
I love
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah, I just
Chocolate cake. No, the band cake. I'm talking about the band.
Oh, okay. You can.
They put on
Wow.
a good party.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Did
you.
somebody say keg?
Why
Yeah,
am I
I-
thinking about Courtney Love since we were talking about that other stuff?
Because we're talking about keggers and choking people out. No. Different discussion. Sorry. I can't find that setting now. Maybe it's only Windows. Anyway. back to my slideshow for everyone.
Hey, so how about this lady who's claims that she saw Bigfoot in California and is now suing the state in order to make it a protected species? Any thoughts?
I hadn't heard about that.
That's awesome.
I think it has to be like in the science books and have a genus to be accepted as an endangered species.
I want to time her sighting with when they made pot legal in California.
Last year.
Did you hear about the guy who traveled from New England? I think he was skiing somewhere. Ended up in
Yeah, Whiteface
New
Mountain.
York. Yeah, Whiteface Mountain, and he appeared
And
6
a
days
week
later.
later,
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
No,
And
it
the same-
was,
wearing his ski outfit in Sacramento.
it was less than a week. It was
It was like 6 days.
It was 6 days. Yeah, 6 days. Nope. Yeah, dude, and he had a haircut and a new iPhone. That's what's
What?
weird.
right because he
Yeah.
lost his
I
iPhone. He hitchhiked
I
away.
didn't hear that part.
He hitchhiked across the United States. And he
Isn't
bought
that a
new one.
song? Like,
He with his
No,
girlfriend.
they picked him up and they dropped him off in the wrong city is what happened.
isn't that a song by Beck? I
Oh,
got a new
was
haircut and an iPhone.
That is a song with those are the wrong lyrics.
Oh, my
Those are
bad.
good lyrics though. I like it.
Well,
I just
tried-
finished writing my intro song.
My
Right.
favorite, my
Beck was an
favorite
alien,
Beck
but-
song is called Deborah. And
Oh, dude, such a good song.
I
I
know.
met you.
at the J.C. Penney. The
Such a
chorus,
good-
the chorus is something like, I want to get with you, woo, and your sister. I think her name is Deborah.
Beck's a very interesting character.
He's a Musketeer.
Dude, Bartleman was saying he's really Marilyn Manson, but I can't buy it.
He's a totally made up character. Remember how,
Beck?
I mean,
He's not.
he's a character in the sense of he's been built to sell.
Yeah.
What, like Buster Poindexter or something?
Yes. But
I
not
know
so
a
much
secret.
Buster Poindexter-y.
Well, I mean,
Beck's a second generational.
Do you
Well,
remember
I
when he
mean-
first came out? It was I'm a struggling artist. I made 8-track songs in my basement or my garage, and they sounded fantastic. His first album he put together in his garage, I think, with like a 4-track player.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit's cool. But it's hard to believe that you can get that quality. Well, I suppose not now. It's not that hard to believe. Never mind.
well, since we're talking about music, let me ask everybody here.
See, not politics, Grim.
Yeah, I know, right?
See, let me ask, since we're talking about music,
Thanks, Jet Pet.
what?
Jet Pet made a comment in the
Oh.
chat that I was liking.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Okay,
Are we live on YouTube?
Yeah,
It's Hive.
it's the Hive, dude.
I'm just making sure.
Snap
How-
the fuck out of it. Oh, I'm kidding.
do you
Well, I
think?
want to really show you guys. I want you guys to hear my intro, but I don't want to.
You don't want the
I
world to
don't,
hear
want,
it?
I don't want everybody to hear it yet.
Okay, well, wait till we'll be
Okay,
done in an
okay.
hour.
That's all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nothing to be sorry about.
Yeah,
I'm in Canada. I have to
Shut
apologize.
the
Fuck you.
up.
Who's
It's
got
part of the
key?
laws.
All right, your
I'm sorry.
apology accepted.
how
Thank you.
overrated is the song "Lust for Life"?
God, he sounds so much like Adam sometimes.
Iggy Pop.
Who's the artist?
You don't like it's. I mean, it's a good song, but you think it's overrated? I think it was. I think it got played out because it was in like.
Wait, what song?
"Lust
Oh,
for
Lust
Life"
for
by Iggy Pop.
Mhm.
I don't like the song. I like my favorite Iggy Pop song is "Passenger."
Oh yeah.
See,
That's a
I'd
great-
rather sit and listen to like New York Dolls or like Velvet Underground, like
Velvet Underground sucks. I'm
Yeah,
not
why
a
can't
fan.
Why can't you listen to all of it?
or not Velvet Underground. Damn it, what are they
Have it
called?
all.
Wait, no, wait. Well, wait.
I
Are
don't
you
know what
thinking?
the fuck-
No, you're thinking of Velvet Revolver. They're the ones who suck.
I never heard of them.
I
Oh,
don't know.
Velvet Underground with what's his face?
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed. Yeah, they suck. To me, I don't like their music. I don't like.
Yeah.
Never
His
have.
taste.
McGurk.
Dude, I'm not even a big Zeppelin fan. I'm like
What? Hammer of the Gods is awful.
Frank Zappa.
Since my son saw Thor, he will not stop singing the immigrant song.
Cool. Good
Is
for
that in
him.
the movie?
Yeah. And he's 7 years old.
That's it.
Sorry, I had to. Do
So
it.
he's
Hey, Mac.
he's sitting
How's
there
it going,
playing,
Jer?
he's sitting there playing the Marbles Lego game, and he's Thor, and so all he's doing is the
Nice. Hey, James Cruz made it.
Yay!
What's up, James?
James has like a 30-second delay when he joins, and then the screen's gonna flash blue. and then it'll be on to be really loud, and then he'll play loud music. Watch.
Oh, he just dropped.
Oh, he left.
Maybe he's got to reboot.
I don't know. James Cruz is a mystery. Welcome to every single one of our podcasts.
And Graham's at a CSETI event tonight, huh?
Ah, CSETI?
Oh my God.
I thought that's what he said. He just was talking to someone.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was saying some crazy stuff.
Well, it's not like you don't expect not to hear crazy stuff at a CSETI meeting.
Well, I mean,
You are channeling demons. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I've been known to talk about some weird shit, so I don't really care. It's just nice to be on a show where I don't have to watch my language.
No, you say whatever you want, and just weird shit's better than real shit in my mind. Talk weird shit all day.
There's nothing better to talk about.
Well, it's just I mean, with the podcast that I ran, we kept it really PG.
Which podcast was that?
It was called Neighborhood Nerd Watch.
Okay, I don't know that.
And no, we quit doing it like a while ago, but it was a matter of we had comic book shops doing our playlist.
Yeah.
So we couldn't use any foul language. And so now it's nice to sit here and go, shit, fuck, piss, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker,
and tits. But you can say most of those on TV now.
Tits. Yeah, that's true.
Fucking cocksucker, I think I heard.
I'm sorry. The best stuff that works on YouTube right now is beef. Making debunking videos and talking about QAnon.
That's nonsense. QAnon nonsense.
QAnon isn't real. Tyler is the secret.
Tyler. Yeah. QAnon.
Tyler.
I mean, QAnon is just a distraction from everything, just like everything else is a distraction from everything.
Oh yeah. So the day someone sent me the Q stuff, and I'm like, this is conspiracy theory 101. What the heck is this? What are you talking about? And they were trying to, this is real, man.
Right. But what happened then is a series of things happens, but mainly like in our community, we saw the Sphere Being Alliance get behind QAnon and saying he's part of our team. So they even muddied it even further. So now it's like 25% possible. I don't know.
So Q is Robert David Steele? Sorry, bad joke.
But these people who report on Q are so adamant that it's legit. He proved himself. Well, no, he didn't. He hasn't proved jack shit. And it's similar to the am I still sharing this shit?
No.
Sorry. It's equivalent to the I forgot. I lost my train of thought now. God.
LARP.
Well,
whatever. I forgot what I was going to say.
What news publication came out this week talking about how Q is fake news? Like it was actually, I think it was like the New York Post, maybe.
Yeah, it was Guardian or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but if that's hitting mainstream, when I kind of get skeptical, like it might be something, because if they're trying to debunk it, if they just let it go and said whatever, then there's nothing to it.
But Alex Jones is running with it now, so in 3 months it'll be it'll be real.
All right, I got a question, and I want to see if anybody can answer this.
The answer is 42.
46 and 2?
No, 42.
46 and 2.
No, 42 is the answer to everything.
He's not a Tool fan then.
It's the answer to the universe.
46 and 2, just ahead of me. Anyways, do you think psychological warfare, Michael Aquino, has anything to do with anything right now?
No.
I don't know.
Not actively. I think maybe his teachings are being employed, but I don't think he's personally involved in much. He's really old, isn't he?
Well, no, there's been this big rift going on between, and I don't know how to say this politically correct, so I'll just say it the only way I know how, the paranormal community and all of MUFON, I guess, basically.
Or CIA.
Yeah.
Or what about
the Catholics in action, because they're basically controlled opposition.
MUFON's on the way out, in my opinion. It's gonna be gone.
I think MUFON's been a government organization for the most part. I mean, working closely with the government for a while.
Really? You think?
Oh, yeah.
So what about ESETI then?
Data
'Cause
collection.
they're
ESETI is data collection. Yeah, it's all data collection. They're
Both of them.
COINTELPRO ops, whatever they call them. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, MUFON's been part of the government for a long time.
Stephen Greer just got that creepy vibe, man. I can't deal with him.
I can't
stand
Stephen
I couldn't
Greer.
agree with you more. I could not
What,
agree
you
with
don't
you
like
more.
the orbs, man?
I don't know what those are.
The orbs are the
I
only
know.
thing that don't
Here's
make
the-
sense.
here's the
I
thing.
don't
Like
make fun of the
I've seen,
orbs. I just make fun of Greer's saying there are orbs, and then
there are orbs.
There
Yeah,
are
because there
orbs.
was like the aliens were going to show up. I can't tell you how long ago he told everyone that the aliens were going to show up, and now he's like taking people out into the desert in Arizona. Hey, pay me $200 to come out and channel some things with me.
No, it's like a lot more than that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a.
These people who think they're part of the
It's like
Galactic
1,500.
Federation, okay, there is something talking to them. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's our government. But
I got you.
Something's talking to them. I mean, and that's real for them.
Spirits.
I agree with that. I agree
Their
with
group
that.
psyche at
There's
best.
lots of different things talking, and the government's one of those things.
No, I think it's more like an AI or a
be
machine
that.
or.
Okay, I think it's called predictive programming for
MK is
behavior
for sure
modification
real.
and mass media. And then people talk things into
It could
existence.
be
as they say.
group think or group,
Exactly.
know.
That
Hive
too.
mentality.
Could be that whole, yeah.
We've all been
Manifesting
programmed.
the reality.
Two things. One, I got your prime directive right here. Two, maybe
Can't break the space-time continuum.
Wait, I
maybe
didn't-
it's
Go ahead.
maybe it's more like. Have you ever seen the movie Frequency?
Yes.
Yes.
I was just watching Transcendence.
Where it's a matter of, you know, talking in one year and responding in another. Maybe that's what's going on. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, Grimsteak looks shocked. What the fuck, man?
I heard a noise.
Oh my god!
Failed like completely naked.
Oh my god!
Why are we so
Son of a
bitch, from the man who tubcast? You're getting all
Damn it, I missed it.
The
Dude,
power of Christ compels you.
Mac. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you going to say?
I think we just saw Bigfoot.
I just said, damn it, I missed it.
Son of a bitch. All right, hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, sexy.
I went for a shower. I forgot my fucking thing was on still.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Priceless.
I forgot.
I feel violated.
Such a failed.
I still got a boner.
See the
dude.
Whopper and everything.
Jerry.
This is gonna be my Me Too story.
You got a boner too?
Yeah, the pound me too.
This is gonna be my Me Too story.
We're all closer now.
See him.
I feel like the rest of us need to get naked now just to make it even.
I know.
Dude,
Shirts off.
remember we get our shirts off?
Dude, well, that's summertime. Too
yeah.
hot. But still,
We're going to have a shirts off hive as soon as it gets warm enough.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
So
There's no doubt.
I was going to say the orbs. I know the orbs are real. I've seen them. And
You need to get more women in here then.
There's a lot more orbs that you can see if you use night vision goggles. They're everywhere. It's
Yeah, I
something
don't ever disagree with the orbs. That's the thing that gets me because I've
They're-
seen things that I can't explain.
they're not alien though. They're creatures that live here with us that we just can't see.
So
They're
which
in a
dimension
different
do they live in?
frequency.
Oh,
It's
different.
speculative either direction. I mean,
True.
feel free to go in either direction and have fun with it. You know, whatever appeals to you more, your imagination. But I think the most important thing is, as you point out, they are there.
Can
Yes,
I
they're
send
there.
Can I send a file through this to you guys?
Why?
You can share your screen if it's like a,
Well, no. The reason and it's nothing gross. No, it's just there was a picture that
Step back, failed. Step back.
oh whatever. Okay, wait here. I'm sharing my screen.
There you go.
There we go. Wait, hold on.
No, you hold on.
This is a picture that my wife took of my son and I.
holy orbs.
Oh man.
Hold
Yeah.
on, I'll go full screen. Hold on a second. I'll put it up. How do I do that? Transform the screen. There we go. Hide this. All right.
Pretty nice effect.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can go back to like regular.
You do whatever you want, buddy.
I don't know how to get it off the screen.
That's what she said.
Oh, damn it, you beat me to the punch twice, Jerry. Fuck's sakes.
Gotta be faster, man.
All right, everyone should be seeing it right about
It changed the color screen on my goddamn desktop. Mother puss bucket.
Quit your whining.
What did you?
What was that, cussing?
Oh,
cuss all you want.
Cut it out right now or I'll pound you.
That's right.
James Cruz is here.
Jen Pet says they're all naked in chat.
Oh, awesome.
So one thing I heard about orbs recently is that
Trendsetter.
That some orbs that you can see are people who are remote viewing you. Or things that are remote viewing you. Yeah. The things that travel. Blue Blood was talking about the orbs up in the sky. The orbs in the sky are those things I think are actual creatures or other entities that live in this other light frequency range.
The shit when you put night vision goggles on?
Yes.
You seen the videos of those orbs going to the sun and sucking up stuff?
I saw
Yeah,
one or
pulling the
two, but
streamers off.
that's
Yeah.
not really what's happening. It's really just an anomaly caused by the magnetic fields.
Cool. Thanks for knowing.
Yeah, but remember the wishbone picture that I got, Jared?
Yeah, there's weird shit too up there. I'm not
Space
saying
is
it's all
electric.
legit.
It's all electric.
Whatever. It's not what they tell us. It's all I know.
Man, we live in the Matrix.
It's all
You
electric.
haven't taken your red pill today.
I would go with the idea that space is not programmed yet, and as we move into it further, it renders.
There you go.
We got
Yeah.
the fog of war
I
around
like that.
us. Yeah.
Oh, I like that too.
Well, I
We're
can't
getting
keep
there.
saying
Another
space is
20 years.
fake and get away with
I
it.
can get on board with that.
People just think you're crazy, but if you say, look, everything we see is CGI and cartoons, and maybe it's just we got this fog of war around us. And
That's back to what I can't remember who was just saying that, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Hologram.
No, not that. Just the hive mind, like the forming of the reality ahead.
Oh, the group.
Well, just
manifesting the future.
Yes, manifesting
Yeah.
what you're seeing in front of you. As more and more people are seeing seeing it, it becomes real. Like,
Well, I keep thinking everything they show us on TV is something they want us to manifest.
Well,
any big events.
Right. And if you
You
listen
know,
to
it's
this Mike
the
Emery
magic
dude
trick.
that Miles has been dragging on, he's talking about that our reality is rendered on images that we concentrate on collectively. So it's everything that we see rendered is an image that was put in place. Someone has to come up with an image, the imagery of something for it to manifest.
So that brings me to
attack my scuttlers.
And what's going on with it is that the Hollywood is managing our images for us. What?
money talks. Money talks, right?
How's it going, brother?
Yep.
So have we been predictively programmed to manifest a transhumanist agenda already?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait. But I want to go back to the whole the imaging thing.
Yeah.
What was it that Q started? Even though I was the first one to call bullshit on Q on here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No, I'm sure I wasn't the first one, but
First.
anyway, they remember how in the beginning it was make a meme, make a meme, make a meme. Right there, I was like, something's up with that. So what is all the meme crap about?
That
Meme
wasn't
magic?
that wasn't in the
4chan.
beginning. That was
Those were the Russian bots.
okay. First of all, that's all 4chan does is make memes, right? That's what they're good at. Secondly, that didn't come until like the middle, the meme stuff, and that's when I think if the first Q was legit, whatever came after was not, and that's when the meme stuff started.
I got a question. Who here is on 4chan? Whoever goes on 4chan?
I don't.
Only when there's something there to go look
Does
at.
anyone go on? Yeah. So is it a younger crowd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
So it's the reapplying of the it's like recruiting,
Reinforcement?
recruiting again for the same fucking loops over and over.
Well, I think you
There
have to
you go.
learn the Reddit 4chan loop there, actually, because that's what I'm saying is that's where all the disinformation comes out of those two areas.
Yeah, the echo chamber.
The echo chambers. Yeah, but then they might be manifesting that shit. So, but
Well, actually,
but
that's
all
the
that
thing is-
data that's put in creates the whole.
Exactly. How many sphere being alliances in there? How many flat Earth society is in there?
Oh, good
How
God.
many?
Yeah.
You know, like I says, that's what you got to kind of start wading through that. And if you can't disseminate that information at this point in life, you're going to go into this rabbit hole that is never ending. And that's why I think so many people are having these psychotic breaks lately.
I call them black rabbit holes.
Dark holes. They're dark holes.
They're black rabbit holes.
They're
You're chasing
black.
the wrong. You're chasing the fucking black rabbit.
Black hole suns.
Yeah, as soon as Q started saying follow the white rabbit, I'm like, this is a psyop, definitely.
Definitely.
But not only was he saying
They're
that,
just
but he was
fucking
saying
with people.
He was saying Alice and calling things dopey. Remember,
They might be using that thing. Might be AI generated though. It's gathering all this data. And
there's so much programming in the Disney movies though, and to have that spit
Disney.
back at you as part of another possible psyop, it's like, oh my god.
Okay,
even
well,
this.
you got Lionsgate. Because there's only a few production movie companies out there: Paramount Pictures, Lionsgate.
I thought Lionsgate is gone. And Lionsgate is Gustro, right?
Yeah.
Which is involved with Clinton Foundation and potential harvesting of bodily fluids.
they'll be disappearing soon.
No.
Organ harvesting, sex slave trade, and drug running through rat lines.
Which happen to be charities and disasters, which may or may not be man-made.
And that's when they started talking about weather wars and that guy popped up. That was some weird, like says I thought they took out HARP and they weren't affecting the ionosphere anymore.
I can't get behind the weather manipulation argument.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that one myself.
I really think that the weather is getting shifted by all the radar we have up. If you look at the weather patterns during like hurricanes, you can see the next red radar appears to push the storm systems away and into a channel.
Cloud seeding is real.
Cloud seeding is real. Yeah, absolutely.
And
but like, I don't think HARP
jet pollution is real.
One at a time.
They've
Yes, it is. I agree. But and that is manipulating the weather. But I'm talking about like people were saying that they steered Harvey into Houston.
They very well could have.
Did you ever see the
Dutch Sense?
Well,
documents it
yeah,
really well.
Yeah, exactly. I just cannot get behind
documents
that.
it.
I can't.
He showed it all, though. I mean,
showed what? Pictures?
Yeah, but that one guy did the moon.
No, the video, man. He does like 3 hours a day, and he was all over all that stuff. He was showing years ago when all those major tornadoes were ripping across like Oklahoma and whatever. Remember, there was like one summer where they just ripped the shit out of the place.
I just don't think they can.
He was showing. He was showing
that's where he
how they would do these pulses, and then they would get hit right there, and that exact spot would get hit in the
with
right
jet
amount of
stream-
hours that he said. He's
yeah,
good
with
at
El
it, man.
Nino that year, he is actually on point. But
And it's the
that's
same thing
is-
with the hurricanes. He shows how they do these microwave pulses at just the right spot.
I have
so they
seen
can
those.
steer it,
That's what the
and
thing is, are they?
they can totally control them.
Or manifesting the weather, and that's this thing is with.
But we
I just gotta be
manifest
honest because I live in Oklahoma.
You can.
If
You
they
can.
did that, I'm kind of glad they did it because we were facing one of the worst droughts ever about 3 years ago, like Dust Bowl conditions almost.
do a rain dance.
It rained and snowed a bunch here. So like I said, so it's gotten better now, but still with all the especially with current times with I think it's Johannesburg, South Africa running out of water and the fracking issues and stuff, there's a huge issue there. And we're
South Africa is supposed to be out of water by the end of April, I think it is.
Nobody's running out of
but
water.
that's
It's the
that's
elites are just buying
mismanagement.
it up.
That has nothing to do with weather management. That's mismanagement.
Nestle's going to bottle Canada's water and send it to Johannesburg.
Look at California's water. How about that?
Yeah, that is not global warming by any means. That is they are genociding the white people who were running the water plants.
Tell it,
And
brother.
they
Tell
weren't-
it.
And they didn't get the info on how to run the plants before they ran them off.
Hey man, somebody brought it up. I was just clarifying.
Okay, well, that's
No,
all
it's
I'm
cool.
doing. I'm clarifying for you.
Put
Don't
your
get
gun
on
down.
Truffaut's bad
No.
side, man. I'm telling you.
Put the gun down.
Yeah, I don't have any guns.
Yeah, you
There's
guys
actually been a gun on Hive,
You guys
so
aren't allowed to have guns in Canada.
The weather modified stuff I found was in Judy Wood's work through the dustification. Like if you, I have something I can show you right now. There was a hurricane Aaron. That was same day, same time, September 11th. Comes up the coast, September 11th, like right before it turns right out to sea, straight.
and nobody knew about it.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah. I don't know if
They,
you guys-
I think one
remember that
weather
Yeah.
person said
Yeah.
something about it early in that
Yeah.
morning.
The only thing I want to say
Comes
is
up
that
and then totally just jets up.
we're believing the radar too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Which is one thing I have a problem with because we only have the data that they give us,
Right.
which is GOES and NASA.
It just goes.
Yeah, I
it
think
goes.
Dutch
it goes.
Science uses
It goes and goes and goes.
DuPage.
A
not sure which
routers and
Yeah,
associated
DuPage, because
press.
he's in St. Louis, right? So DuPage would be closest
Yeah.
to him. DuPage,
Mhm.
Illinois. DuPage.
That's a university, right?
Mhm. No, it's a county.
Well, it's a university site that he uses.
It's a university site that he
it's
uses.
DuPage College then.
And then there's a lot of colleges that have weather and
Yeah, weather. I know. What
and
you're talking
and it's
right.
not quite as controlled as he's found a lot of things that he showed.
Yeah.
The USGS doesn't show it, and then they come right out and say that didn't exist. He's making it all up. He's crazy.
I know. I've seen when he's caught him messing with
earthquakes a lot.
Earthquakes.
Of times.
Earthquakes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it'll come out on other sites.
And volcanic
that, yes,
action.
in fact, it was an earthquake.
He showed a whole bunch of what looked. I mean, the way he lays it out, it totally looks like there was cinder cones letting off stuff out of California.
It was out of the ocean.
Cone?
No,
What's a
no,
cinder
in the
cone?
desert.
Oh, in the desert?
All these extinct cinder cones that are all over California.
Was that
all up
recently?
The entire coast.
What's a
No,
cinder
it was
cone?
probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
A cinder cone is where it's the cone of the volcano where the crap comes out of.
What do I know? I'm a fucking college dropout.
You're pretty smart, dude.
I'm not smart. I'm not that smart.
Yep. See, what Jerry's not telling you is the college was actually a beauty school. So,
Oh, I'm a beauty school dropout.
It was Northern Illinois University. I was there for 3 months, maybe.
Beauty school dropout.
How much do y'all think this has to do with that carbon tax fake stuff?
What has to do with it?
Just like I said, I'm trying to make us pay carbon taxes and.
Oh,
you
in,
know.
like in
I'm
Canada?
hearing
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the
Gas went up
regulations
like
on
10
mufflers on the
cents.
car. Yeah, and it says, and supposedly they have 0-point energy generators that they're
Yep.
stifling, and
Oh, totally.
so yeah,
They're making 5 petawatts per burst.
Petawatts?
Is that like people riding bikes?
Petawatt is, I think, a billion. Is that how you say it?
Peta is a quadrillion. No. Yes.
Yeah, it's a billion mega, right?
It's a million billion, whatever that is. A million.
Yeah, look that up. 5 petawatt generator. Look it up.
If you can
Ladies,
think
I got
about
this.
it like that your computer has gigabytes of RAM, right? And a gigabyte is a billion bytes. If you had 1,000 gigabytes, you would have a terabyte. And I'm sure everyone's heard of terabyte drives, right? If you had 1,000 terabytes, you would have a petabyte.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 orders of magnitude above gig.
Lady Zaga just brought up the Paris Accord that we pulled out of in the TPP. That's a good topic.
No, I thought we were gonna talk about black goo and quantum computers and AI and Gordy Rose.
Did we ever talk about eye worms?
Dude.
Oh, let's cover the eye worms because that's real interesting.
Hit that.
Okay,
That's
wait.
the-
Let me.
That's
I
about-
think there's some Freudian things going on here because it's goo, worms, and pulling out.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And I just watched a movie where this chick pulls a tapeworm tapeworm out of her mouth. It's like a mile long.
Eric Bowman. Who's Eric Bowman?
I've heard of him.
I'm gonna guess his name's Eric Bowen.
Oh, he's got Jesuits control the Federal Reserve. He gets a wrench.
What's a what is a wrench? What is a wrench?
A wrench gives you the ability to be a moderator in the chat. You can paste links. There's no limits
Jesuits
to your.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to say. How can the Jesuits control the IRS or the Federal Reserve? They're not even Jewish. Oh, is that too soon?
The Jews are Jesuits. Duh.
These are not Jesuits.
The Jews are the
No, they're
scapegoats.
not. They're the ones that are fighting.
Actually, you're right. They all are tribes of
Black
Abraham.
Ops fighters.
You can't deny that. They all are tribes of Abraham.
They are. And Abraham is Brahma, the bull.
Mithras, my friend.
You got it. Mithras. Which, circle back here, was the castrating god, or people castrated themselves in worship to Mithras. And what better transhumanistic figure is there than a hermaphrodite or castrated man? So, I mean, I think this transhumanistic programming, as you put it, predictive programming, has been around for longer than like 10 years. It's been constant.
Around since the 40s.
I think it's been around since the 400 BCs.
I can prove that something started in 1940 called Silva Mind Method.
Just look at the Bible, talking about how angels have both sexes and everything's androgynous. That androgyny of the Bible is the root of this predictive programming towards transgenderism and eventually transhumanism, in my opinion.
So how much did that influence the human potential movement?
Well, I don't know what that is.
New Age.
Oh, if that came out of the Vatican, probably.
From what I understand, the human potential movement is essentially be all you can be, right? Isn't that right, Lee?
Yes. Well, it's the mighty I am. The I am movement, the New Agers, kind of all lumped together. And you got to basically, if you believe in the Ascended Masters, that's what you believe in.
Right. Okay.
Those guys are AI.
Which one, Warwick or Dwagul, Benjamin Krem? Do you know about Benjamin Krem?
I think most of the large archangels and the whole angel hierarchy and all that shit, that's all AI. Like some kind of.
All right, Benjamin Krem was a real person who said he was a part of the source, which says that the Buddha Maitreya was getting ready to come back. And this was in the 70s.
You out, dude?
Yeah, you guys have all seen me naked. We've had some laughs.
If that's you making all that noise, good riddance.
Not me.
I know. It's me.
I love you, dude.
Take care, Feld. See you. Thanks for coming by.
I love you.
Love you, Feld.
Later.
Dude. Feld. Litecoin to the moon.
I know.
All right. Later.
You and your Monopoly money, you guys.
Fuck you, Dad.
Hey, Graham's here.
The most
What's up, Graham?
Rambo.
Hey, boys, I'll take
Graham.
Field's.
Summoner.
I'll take Field's Canadian spot.
All right, there we go.
All right, talking about Canadians,
Mike's
the two
here.
doctors that were murdered up there in Canada.
The Baxters,
Yeah, it's nuts.
Was it Baxter? It was B something. I'll look it up. They were drug salesmen,
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's supposed to connect to the Clinton too.
Canada has that connection.
Pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, well, it was ruled a suicide, double suicide, and now they came back and changed it to a homicide.
Yeah,
Canada has
always was pretty obvious.
That connection to the Highway of Tears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember.
You mean the Trail of Tears?
Sherman, Barry Sherman.
Trail of Tears. That's what I.
There you go. Yeah.
Is it Trail of Tears or Highway of Tears?
I've always heard Trail.
Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears is down here.
Trail of Tears.
It's a lot of tears.
He's talking about the Highway of Tears up in Canada that they did.
With the schools, the Native American schools, or the Native schools.
This was the building of it, and they used a lot of slave labor. So it's the same. It's like a Trail of Tears story.
No, it's
okay.
It's separate from the Highway of Tears. It's the Highway of Tears where they killed all the hitchhikers. Where all the hitchhikers got killed.
That's yeah.
And it's not
Thank
the
you. Sorry
Texas
about that.
Chainsaw Massacre story where they were making chili.
The plane.
That's in there.
Okay, did you guys get it?
Yeah.
It's in our chat. In our.
I already looked at it.
Here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
No, I didn't know what it was there for.
No, yeah, because there's highway tiers, and then there's trail of tears. And the highway tiers is where all the hitchhikers got killed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that in Canada?
Yeah, that was Canada and the U.S.
Wasn't there some Vietnam thing, Trail of Tears, too? Korean War? Cherokee Trail of Tears.
Well, there was a lot of. I'm from Oklahoma, so I know this story a little well. The Trail of Tears from the Cherokee Nation was from like the Atlanta area over, but there was many different tribal migrations and treaties signed to form all of the 5 civilized tribes here in the Indian Territory.
I live in Cherokee County, Georgia.
See, I lived in Atlanta for a very long time.
Sorry.
And yeah, I was actually homeless there for the better part of a decade.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
You look familiar.
What's that?
Nothing. I was kidding. I said I knew you looked familiar.
I've heard Atlanta's a tough town.
Not as tough as Oakland.
Yeah.
Or New York.
Oh my God. I lived in Queens for a couple years. Man, that place is the best. I love New York.
Cool.
But it's so expensive to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard cigarettes are like $18 a pack or something now there.
Wow.
That's insanity.
What happened with the LDS and the massacre? Were you talking about the Mormons and massacring people?
I don't know.
No, it
When they
was the
put Romney-
LDS. That's the Battle of what is that? The Waterloo one? Which one is that? Know a little bit about that stuff. Because everyone gets the Franciscan monks and the Jesuits mixed up with the.
No, they're Dominican monks.
Yeah.
The ones who, Benedictine rather, are Jesuit monks. The Saint Benedict was Jesuit. He founded the order, and they were all the translators of.
Well, what about Loyola Ignatius then?
Ignatius was a Jesuit.
I know.
He was Franciscan.
I went to a Benedict.
Which is a Jesuit. They're all Jesuits.
They're all Jesuits.
It's
I
just
went to St. Ignatius High School in Chicago.
Okay.
I know
No,
all
sure,
about it.
they are. They are. But because that's where the Opus Dei
sect.
So, and what's the other one? Baha'i? B'nai B'rith or Baha'i?
B'nai B'rith, yeah.
Right.
That's more Hebrew, though.
Yeah, I know, because that's APEC.
They all have a common nexus point. The Christians separated themselves from the Jews by making up the story of some dude named Jesus.
Joseph and Yeshua.
Yeah, but still, it's not a real person. It's an amalgam.
Yeah, there was no IRJs before the Latin Vulgate.
Well, if you look at, because my degree is in ancient history, so if you look at throughout the religions, throughout the civilizations, there's roughly over 2,500 different stories that are identical to Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's before Jesus' time. So I mean,
Yeah, the great flood stories that commingle through all of those stories that are allegorical stories.
So are we just looking at one set of stories that got rewrit 1,000 times? And then if so, what does that mean? More
came along.
So what about the Zoroasters?
Well, no, it just
There
to
you go.
me it just means if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it worked the first time. Let's just change the names and keep everything the same.
Well, okay, you got the great experiment of the New Atlantis by Sir Francis Bacon.
Which one?
See,
which one? I'm kidding.
No,
you know exactly what I mean.
The minute you said bacon, Jerry typed in, "I'm hungry."
I did, but I had already typed it.
Bacon.
Donner Party.
They were talking about the Donner Party. I'm like, damn, I'm hungry.
And we have some, like I said, is our American history. If you accept it for what it is the eugenics movement, and
fascism with a sprinkle of fascism.
Well, yeah, socialism, fascism, it's kind of the same thing these days.
Yeah.
Manifest Destiny.
Well, this was I made this parallel last week that I kind of noticed that what could be going on now. I like to look at things on a higher level, if you will, and what we could see happening between the left and the right now could be like the playing out of Operation Paperclip from 1947, when we had all the Nazis come into our government and then filter out into Monsanto, OSS, NASA, yada yada yada,
Jet Propulsion Lab,
JPL, and then we also had all these communists come in, and they've always been a warring faction in the government, to the point that they drove McCarthy to start the whole McCarthyism and the Russian scare back in the 50s. He was getting intel from the Nazis within the government about this, according to Joseph P. Farrell, that who was a communist and who wasn't, because they've been fighting forever. And I think what's happening now is that all those people are like dead, but their training has lived on, and they're all just so rabid and mind controlled they can't help each other and just fight all the time. It's kind of funny.
What if we had some outside source to unite us with some trickle down economics? Sorry, making better Reagan jokes.
Was there really a real what if in there?
No, actually, that's I hate Reagan and the trickle down economics with the school to prison pipeline stuff that he basically started.
Yeah, these people they don't become
Well,
president to help the country.
Well, it's interesting you bring up Reagan, because I wrote something earlier about him. I wrote,
Is it in one of your new books?
No,
Okay.
I posted. It was on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and I said, with Reagan, they didn't acknowledge AIDS existed until a lot of members of their own party got AIDS. Is it going to be the same thing with gun control?
There will never be gun control in the United States. It will not.
Oh no. I know, but there it's still a talking point to bring up. I mean, there's
talking about the amendments to the Constitution.
Oh God, here we go.
You get to the 13th and the 23rd, there's some really contentious wording there between a serf, a slave, a bondsman, and a free man. And I'm kind of going to leave it there because I don't like lawyer talk or politics.
Did they walk into a bar?
They did. And then they became 3/4 of a man, which is a 3/5 clause, which has a lot to do with the Trail of Tears and the voting rights of the South with indigenous Native Americans and slaves after the war. They got 40 acres and a mule.
Mm-hmm. PSYOP.
And yeah, so
the original.
That's like I said, that's such a contentious stuff with the creation of the sovereign state of Sequoia, which is what they were going to try to do with Oklahoma at first, but then, like it says, we joined the Union, as they say, since we are a democratic republic of the Union of States with a oligarchical federal government right now.
I'm just gonna nod and smile because I'm just
reading chat.
What did you write about Reagan?
Do what?
What did you write?
Do what?
Well, no, it was about the whole thing about Reagan not acknowledging AIDS until a lot of the members of his party got AIDS. So I mean, it was basically just a talking point about how, regardless of the party,
who in his party got AIDS?
Oh, there was a handful of prominent Republicans in the was it 86? I think it was.
Yeah, my uncle was gay, so the whole 81 through 85 scare of the H.I.V. virus stuff.
I remember it. It was scary. They scared the shit out of us.
Yeah. They called it the gay cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Here's a question for everybody. Is it man-made?
That's what I was going to say too.
Oh, definitely man-made.
Yes.
There's a patent for it.
I don't know. I listened to this guy, and I don't mean to be offensive, and this is a very touchy topic that you have totally pulled us into, but from this one guy who's an investigative reporter, I wish I could remember his name, but I listened to a really good podcast of him who's done quite a bit into this, and he's saying that it's more of the lifestyle and you're biologically, that area is designed to suck up things. That's what the whole end of your digestive system is for, is to suck up all the water and everything. And it's just not meant for using in that way. And because of that, you have all sorts of fissures and fractures and all sorts of problems, and you got a bunch of different people that you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of drugs involved, the way he says it.
What's not supposed to be used in what way?
Well, this is what he's saying. I'm not, hold on. You're right. I should probably look him up before I speak.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Is the guy's name Liam Schiff by any chance?
He's an investigative journalist, but his whole point was that the whole AIDS thing came about because it being an immune deficiency, that we had the 80s, which were just really the 70s, which were the coke and everything was out of control. Society just got not that it was bad, it just went in this super hedonistic direction. And at the exact same time, they were ramping up all the vaccinations and all the processed foods were coming in. So all these people were beginning to eat white bread instead of good, fresh, farmed type stuff. The whole thing was switching over, and it just destroyed the immune system of everyone.
And once it got in a few times and mutated, it was over.
If you look up the statistics of who the biggest population that has AIDS, it's white women with one partner, or married white women and children. And
well, he also made this point, and this is the part that's super contentious that I wanted to get to, was that the AIDS whole thing is actually a scam. It's not as real
I've
as
heard
they say
that.
it is.
Yeah.
It's the HIV that's the big deal.
Right.
And the AIDS thing was just it's not even
It's a
real.
virus.
It's a psyop. Well, it's like a psyop.
Right. But it
and
could
they
be
tell
cured.
people that they have it. Well, he was saying that he found a lot of false positives.
Mm-hmm.
And so these people, it would get into their head that they had this thing and they were all scared of it. The whole thing was just a huge psyop, basically, is his point.
Right.
I need to look this up. I know which podcast it was on. I just have to go back and find his name.
But that could be, I mean, from my personal experience alone, I could debunk that.
Yeah, but he's saying it's the HIV thing that was the main problem. And then when you would go in for these, you would go in for tests and stuff, and they would actually inject more stuff into you. And the way that they were doing this was they were getting a good hold on who's doing what behaviors in the society. It was basically like a eugenics psyop, is what the point he makes.
Well, I'm talking about before there was even a name for it. I mean, there were people who, I mean, my mom was, friends with tons of different drag queens in the Bay Area. She was what they used to call a fag hag, which is a politically incorrect term nowadays.
It's not politically correct at all.
But that's what they called her,
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of people die before they even had a name for it, because it was, at first it was just a lot of gay people getting sick. Then it was the gay cancer. Then they called it AIDS. Then they discovered HIV. I mean, I remember, the whole thing.
And I'm not saying that people don't die or you don't get sick. I'm saying the AIDS thing was the psyop, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
It wasn't a psyop.
Yeah.
See, we need to work on terms. Not so much. It wasn't much a psyop as it was a marketing campaign.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, part of the eugenics, I guess, is more so what it is. It was
there was
marketing
also,
what? Selling
it's
drugs to these
See,
people?
this is the problem. I don't think there's one group of people doing all this. It's what happens is it's
Oh,
all these
no,
people
not one
taking
group at all.
advantage of a situation, and they all synergize. So you get multiple marketing campaigns that overlay and interweave, and it just looks like this one big giant.
Yeah,
You know,
I think that's true. Yeah.
from one of the earliest theories I heard was it was all part and parcel to make people stop being gay.
No,
I don't know about that.
And well,
Maybe.
no, I'm just saying that was one of the early theories. That was one of the early theories.
Right, but that came out of the religious
like God is
communities.
punishing them.
Yeah,
because
thank you.
Yeah. I don't know that really
God
stuck.
hates fags. Remember that sign?
Because
Pray
there
away
was
the gay.
there was that, and
Right.
then there was part of what Justice was talking about with a lot of people called it the perfect storm, where you had a certain flu vaccine mixed with a certain this and then a certain that, and that caused AIDS. So I mean, there's 10 trillion theories about it, but I mean, dollars to donuts, you know, I'm going to say it's man-made, period, point blank.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
I'm going to ask a question now.
Check out GodHatesFags.com.
No.
Oh gosh.
I don't like all the hates. I don't like the hates.
That's a good.
I'm not kidding.
Segue.
It's a church.
No, I know. Actually, that's what
I'm sure it is.
Segue here
Full of-
because this
full of
is
hate.
something I'm seeing a lot of lately. People don't seem to know the difference between esoterics and exoterics, just like they might not know the difference between theology and theosophy.
And I would say 5 out of 10 people you meet couldn't define esoteric or spell it.
Okay. And like I said, I see so many.
I'd say 9 out of 10.
So lay it out. Lay it out for us.
It's like
many
the
people
there thing.
Yeah, and they're getting into the neo-pagan movement, and it's the fastest growing thing right now.
So what's the difference between SO and EXO?
SO is kind of on the surface. EXO is hidden. Or
SO
vice
is
versa.
hidden. Yeah.
It's like the same
And
difference as
EXO
the
is
occult versus cult.
So then
Like,
theology and theosophy.
Theology is the study of all religions. Theosophy is the study of a certain few select ones, with agnostic and atheist included.
Would you say it would be more of like a scientific study of the
If you take out the
esoteric?
Christian Science of Mary Baker Eddy, and yeah,
So what about anthroposophy?
that's a hard one.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like I fell into an episode of Schoolhouse Rock.
We're having a great discussion tonight. This is
Sorry,
perfect.
he wanted to lay out that we don't know the difference, and I think you're right about that. Most people don't know most of those words. So
Well, we were talking about Planned Parenthood and Margaret Singer, and so I was thinking about a guy by the name of Rudolf Steiner.
that's right. My first step I'm hoping to drop tomorrow is on Rudolf Steiner.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people need to know more about the Waldorf schools and
totally
Ralph Waldo Emerson and Ayn Rand and all that stuff, because it's why we have the society that we live in today.
Yeah.
Truffaut Show podcast. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely, dude.
You want to hear the intro now? Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah, we're still on, dude.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about Black Goo and Jordy Rose.
Cool.
And
Totally.
then
I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'll be back in a little bit.
hurry back.
Very cool.
And then we're going to end it. Look at this.
So
Black Goo.
So I didn't bring that up to be it's just another conspiracy that I hear people talk about that I don't really buy, that it was man-made. And
Well, I think the Indigo Children manifested it.
I believe that before I believe it was man-made. Magic Johnson. Yeah, right. Magic.
Right. Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to say. Remember him? God,
He's still alive. Look
poster
at
boy.
Fucking talk about Stephen Hawking. I think multiple sclerosis is another disease in that same category of bucket list. You know, like you got all this. You don't have all this stuff, so you must have this.
I think that can be cured. The research they've been doing to the epicannabinoid system in the human body with cannabinols is having great results with MS, Alzheimer's, dementia, Dravet, epileptic seizure, and cancers curing right now.
The endocannabinoid system is something fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
MS is
heard the word
anonymous.
epilepsy. What?
We don't know.
What?
I heard the word epilepsy.
My friends in Colorado Springs do the girl that's suing Jeff Sessions right now is a friend of mine's client. She has Dravet, epileptic, with 300 seizures a day, child syndrome. That the CBD with THCA and CBN oil is having wonderful results with right now.
Good holy God, 300 seizures. Well, I have 3 different forms of epilepsy. So what kind does she have?
It's called Dravet.
Dravet. I'd have to research
Yeah,
that.
D-U-V-E.
Eric Dubé?
D-U-V-E-T.
Jesuit.
No, don't bring up that idiot.
Jesuit
Freaking
chill.
Eric Dubé, Mark Sargent, and Santos Bonacci can kiss my ass. I can't stand Richie from Boston or ODD TV and all the flat earthers. Oh my God, sorry. You triggered me.
Tell us how you really feel.
I know, right?
Now I'm gonna start getting thumbs down because you're bashing all these idiots.
Yeah, we want to put positive vibes out into the ether, dude.
It's all the ether, right?
Of
Grim?
course. It
is ether.
How much of it is the ether?
And then neutrinos.
It's the collective
Oh,
consciousness.
you played that new jingle, didn't you? That was hilarious.
You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat.
It's the ether.
I accidentally dropped a link to all my books in the chat. Sorry.
Accidentally?
It just fell out.
Oops. Feel free. If you give it to me, I'll put it into the description.
Oh yeah, it's right there in the group chat.
Hey, so what's going on with this black goo, Jerry? I've heard you say black goo about 95 times tonight.
Because Lee brought it up.
I brought the D-Wave, artificial intelligence stuff with them having this, like I said, them connecting it to the black goo stuff.
Nanotech?
So from what I've researched, the black goo is a programmable liquid matter kind of thing. It's programmable. It's not sentient. It can act sentient if it's programmed well, I would suppose, and it may have some base functionality, like ants have base functionality, but they're not. I wouldn't say they're smart.
Is it
who's using this stuff?
Allegedly, the government's using it. They're putting it into people, injecting it into them, and then using it to somehow enhance their bodies, their strength.
Now, you say it's programmable. Is it electrokinetic?
I don't know how it's programmed.
There's nanobots.
Does it come in other colors?
No, I don't know. I've never seen it. The person that has seen it and worked with it was that Couchfella character, and he said it is black. And when they had 2 samples of it separated, they tried to get back together. They struggled to move towards each other.
The best, you remember the Spider-Man black suit?
Yeah, Venom.
There you go. That was like a good reference that someone used to try to describe it.
The scene where Neo gets sucked into the mirror is probably the best.
There you go.
After he gets red pilled.
Tech? Is this supposed to be like a nano, some sort of metallic or biologic?
The story is that the Nazis found it within a meteorite or something that the Thule Society turned them onto, like one of those kind of things.
Exactly like X-Files.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that was what they.
There's a kids movie that talks about nanobots.
Wait.
Black nanobots that do all kinds of things.
There's a movie
make
called
stuff.
The Last Mimsy that's about nanobots. But anyway.
The Glockenbell.
The Glocka. That's not it. But the scientists took this meteorite and they apparently broke it open and the black goo got out into the atmosphere.
See, I heard that they were using that black goo to create anti-gravitational fields in that engine.
The documents state that the element is a heavy mercury, a red mercury, they called it.
Okay, thank you.
And they used it in between 2 counter-rotating magnetic fields. Magnetic fields, when you make a magnetic field, it's a vortex. It's vorticular. This is all vortex physics. I don't know what the mercury
I just wanted to make sure we separated those 2 things apart because I'm glad you said it's a red and it's not, because I always wanted to make sure it wasn't that stuff.
The way that I understand it, Jerry, is the kind of, if you take a high-powered rare earth magnet, you drop it through a copper tube, it will slow down as it goes through.
It does.
It's the same type of thing that these gravitics, where you have 2 high moving speeds of I guess, circular Mercury, there's supposed to be an interaction between their magnetic fields that causes a anti-gravity effect like that.
That's
So
possible. I've actually heard another theory from that dude, Maurice Cotterill. Is Graham still here? Graham's had him on a show, I think.
Yep, still here. Yep.
Did you have him on talking about leaky gut? Was that you guys?
Yep.
Okay. So on your show, on that episode, he talked about how hydrogen atoms have two spins, the normal spin, and the difference in the spins is what gravity target they utilize, essentially. What in normal spin mode, the hydrogen atom would be attracted to the Earth gravitationally. But when it spins the other mode, it picks something else to gravitate towards. And he was saying that when it spins in a vortex like a tornado, you got water spinning around a tornado. That's why cars and shit float in the middle of the tornadoes, because when you spin hydrogen atoms in a circle fast enough, their spin changes to this new mode. But did I get that right?
It's like a new number.
I think so, but it has to do with electricity, I believe, doesn't it? I mean, that's why
all electric.
Somehow, those things get embedded into matter during tornadoes. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that too. I think I was just addressing the anti-grav aspects of the inside of a tornado.
So, do you think that this black goo has some connection to the Nazi bell?
No, I think the Nazis never worked with it, as far as I know.
It's probably the mysterious metal or substance Tom DeLonge has.
You know, the first time I ever heard about black sentient stuff like that was on X-Files back in the 90s. That's when you first...
Yeah,
and then
me too.
you
That's what I
started
was going to say.
hearing people talk about, oh, I've been injected with it, or they're using it to train super soldiers. You know, it's hard to know if it's real. And if it is real, and we have our own, which could be, you know, I've had this thought: what if petroleum is our, you know, Earth's black goo?
Oh shit!
We're burning it, you know.
No, when it went shooting up some food and up comes some ground cube, some bubbling goo. Yeah,
bubbling crude.
I've always considered oil to be more like the blood of the earth, and we're just kind of tapping into it.
Sure.
If you look at oil wells, you tap them, you close them, you come back, they've refilled to a certain degree. So,
because oil gets remade all the time, there's no shortage of it.
It's a provideride source.
If it's blood, if it's blood.
Yeah, we're leaching Gaia.
Totally.
So I don't think the black goo has anything to do with the D-wave stuff.
So I think that black goo has been described as being not unlike oil and not like a kind of a blood, but it's a other kind of planetary blood from another planet.
Could be Mars.
So it kind of goes with, it's maybe like an analogy might be like RH, the RH factor of blood.
Sure. Yeah, it's from a compatible but different world.
Prometheus factor.
Like, well, you could say, okay, so if what we hear from
therefore
this,
maybe precious in some way.
think about this: if like the crazy shit about talking about Mars people, Mars, you know how they fucked up the planet, and Mars was goofy, so they had to come here, right? And that we're really from Mars. Maybe that's the black goo from Mars, the planet blood from
it could
Mars.
be something really conventional. You talk about him saying that two piles of this wanted to merge together. You see that in amoeba if you take them apart, single cell amoeba that kind of conglomerate into these gelatinous oozes.
These were across the room from each other.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They'll
glass
do the same
jars.
thing. They'll try to navigate towards each other. They have the ability to find direction, north and south with a big magnetic field around them. So, yeah, they're pretty bright little creatures.
These are nanobots, though. This is a technology. It's not a natural thing.
Well, you were talking about it coming from maybe an asteroid or something. So
It got blown off the surface when Mars exploded. It could be
possibly. Yeah, it came to Earth in an asteroid, in a chunk of space rock, allegedly.
Yeah.
And Nibiru first came through and ran and detect the other planet, and the asteroid came here.
There's no Nibiru.
Yaha. Not to cut the flow, but I'm giving my 30-minute warning.
Well, we just should stop right now then, if that's the case.
Oh, whatever.
All right, who's echoing?
I don't know.
It's good that you stopped, James.
Wasn't me, man.
I don't know.
It was Maldak that
I don't. It doesn't
exploded,
matter.
not Nibiru.
Right.
So
Malbec.
I was reading something.
So how does this tie into Max Spears? Is what I want to know.
He died with black goo in his mouth?
Yeah, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking for a playlist. I have a black goo playlist.
So how do we take all of this crazy information and positively charge it towards the future?
Forget about it all?
Boom.
Because they're all little mind viruses that take over our brains.
It's all bullshit, dude.
Well, this was another learning experience for everybody.
I guess
how many times have we learned it though?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. Critical thinking skills is a necessity these days. You got to tear down that ego before you can raise that super ego back up to withstand the traumas of life, I guess.
I'm just I'm sick of the trauma, dude. It's bullshit. It's now to say it's a distraction, but all of it's a fucking distraction, dude. I'm ready to move on, dude. I'm gone. I'm done with this bullshit.
I've got the song Operation Mindcrime stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
So James, I've actually been feeling that way in a big way as well.
Me too.
That's where we're at, dude. I mean, we're all here for that reason. We already know what the fuck's going on. Well, to an extent, we know we're being fucked with, and I don't know. Yeah, we do have to talk about some of these stories and how we came upon and who knows what, and we data collect, and then but how do we take this and what do? We try to form our own reality for the future, or do we just keep spewing the same shit out there?
Keep alerting people to the fuckery and what's going on, and try and stay above it and don't get caught up in it. I think it's the biggest thing. And always
don't get caught. Yes.
Project a positive
truth,
vision, imagery of the future. That's the image we need to hold in place to manifest.
Yeah. And if you want to talk smack about someone, talk smack about Jerry and Brandon. Just kidding.
Go for it.
No, you two are the guys that say, like I said, you guys have really helped me out with a lot of things in life. That's why I used to be very pessimistic, and it seems like this last year, why everyone else is going to hell in a handbasket, I'm not going. This is kind of too good to make up anymore.
Yeah, take a right when everyone's going left.
I just think it's fun to pull apart the nonsense.
I feel like that when I watch the cryptocurrency stats, when they go up, I'm all sad, and when they come down, I'm like, oh yay! But I'll tell you, not because I'm happy that it's going down, but it makes it seems more affordable.
Well, how much? Just out of curiosity, because no one's been able to give me a decent answer here. How much did that BitConnect thing impact the cryptocurrency market?
Not at all.
It didn't?
No.
It impacted my pocket. That's about it.
About as much as Lehman Brothers failing impacted.
No, because everyone started talking about Ripple right around then, and I don't understand any of that stuff. You guys are talking gibberish to me, but I'm going to catch up.
Ripple is a bankster coin. It's a centralized, decentralized coin. It's basically they run the whole Bitcoin network or the whole coin network, so they can control it. It's not a good deal. So the other side of that is that because it's a bankster coin, they're going to pump and dump like they do on the stock market. So
yeah, but hopefully, if its concept is bad, and even if they implement it and push it, if it's bad, it's going to fail. It may fail sooner, and it may hold on quite a bit.
Fail. It's not going to fail.
It's not going to. Well, it's not going to succeed wildly. I don't think
it's going to succeed wildly because as it gains more success, less reliance on the current fiat money system, especially the Federal Reserve, is going to wane, and it's going to be like a hockey stick in both directions. Because as people jump into the blockchain markets, especially when some of these things, like some of the Ethereum smart contract spin-off coins, are doing some really, really fucking cool shit. Like Populous is one, right? They're decentralizing some. I forgot what they're doing. It's really cool though. I don't want
to. Bricks Bank.
What's up? What?
You know about the Bricks Bank stuff?
Yes.
Is that going to have a part? Like I said, someone was talking about China doing something in March with the petroleum stuff.
They already did it.
Okay, thank you. Then
They've switched they're only buying oil with the yuan.
It started about a decade ago. It was Brazil, Russia, India, Iran, China, and South Africa. And
Not India?
Wow.
Yeah, India.
Isn't the I
Is it
India?
India?
Yeah.
It's Brazil.
Didn't I say
Russia,
India and Iran?
You said Iran.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said Iran and India.
India and Iran.
You said both. You did.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
And South Africa has basically been destroyed.
Yeah.
And Venezuela was in on all of that as well at the same time with the BRICS. And they've been destroyed.
Well, that's NATO. I mean, they're being destroyed for being part of it. It's retaliation. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
That's right. So Russia and China have now gone all the way, and they've brought it to fruition. And they now have the yuan, that's yuan petrodollar.
Right.
That's totally out now. And yep.
And they're only trading oil in yuan, which is now part
amongst
of
themselves, right? No longer in the petrodollar.
Right.
That's yeah. Well, what are they, like 7% in the basket or something?
It's low, but they're in it.
It's a really they're in it,
that's
or
the
maybe it's even 3% actually.
Well,
but they're in it.
Since we're talking economy, let me ask you guys this: what do you feel, if any, impact will happen in regards to Trump promoting coal and taking away from clean energy?
How do we know that's not clean?
Well, yeah, the coal is already like super, super clean, and it barely pollutes at all anymore.
I'm trying to forget about how clean coal is. If you have an airplane that crashes or a boat that has fuel on it, it is a major catastrophe. Drop coal, drop it in the ocean, drop it off a train, drop it in your yard, give it to your kids, let them chew on it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a gallon. You don't have anything to carry it, but I'm going to give you a gallon
gasoline
of gasoline
on your head. You will get a
You guys
fucking
are forgetting
chemical burn and
something.
go to the
You guys are
hospital.
forgetting something. NAFTA and the TTIP and the TPP and the Paris Peace Accord that we pulled out of because we were putting too much in.
Yeah, but they're also just all globalist contracts for the corporates.
Yeah, but at the same time that all those things were being written, they were also moving uranium out of the U.S. through Canada and across the ocean with Russia.
My ex-wife was arguing arguing this with me the other night, telling me, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. It was all.
Here's the thing, though. So the whole time he was shutting down the coal industry, he was selling the uranium to the Russians through Canada. So
But you see, Obama was.
I wouldn't believe anything about that whole TPP, NAFTA, all that kind of stuff. All that shit was shady.
Dude, they delivered a pallet of cash to Iran because they couldn't give it to them.
3 pallets.
Whatever, because of sanctions against Iran. So Obama went around Congress as sanctions and delivered them.
What did they find over there between Syria and Israel?
Taint?
And Golan Heights.
The taint?
The Golan Heights oil mine. And the 2 pipelines that they were fighting over with, which, like I said,
we know this is all about oil.
Remember, we're tying this back into the Brexit, BRICS Bank, like I said, the cryptocurrency stuff. You can kind of see how they've been.
I think the Brexit's bullshit.
Two separate factions, Lee. You've got the oil magnates are funding that, the skirmishes in there to keep that area busy so they can build the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Different, but there's also the whole globalist thing going on, the NATO thing, put it that way.
Yeah.
With the banksters wanting to get those non-centralized bank countries to the left, right? Iran.
Yeah, that's where I run into issues.
Right.
Yeah, but power is being shifted from the west to the east.
Correct.
And the bankers are not going to lose any power at all. They stay above everything.
But gentlemen, I mean, I need to, kind of remind you, we're looking at it through enlightened eyes. John Q. Public doesn't even know or recognize half the stuff that we're talking about. I'm talking about.
Okay. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, really.
What I'm talking about is how is this going to affect economy vis-a-vis John Q. Public? Because we know that the government's
okay. So we know. Do you understand the petrodollar?
Going to destroy the economy.
You understand the petrodollar?
It's going to be hyperinflation for the U.S. dollar.
I think
Silk Road. The Silk Road.
For the last
Remember that
40 to
guy?
50 years, they've been, that's, yeah.
Remember that guy that went
Yeah,
to
this is too many
prison
people
on
talking.
the Silk Road online?
Yeah, Russell
stuff.
or
That changed the algorithms in trade, and they realized this stuff.
Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yep. And I think that guy should be freed, and I don't know
You?
about Julian.
I don't even know if he's a real person.
Oh, his mom was coming out saying that, speaking out against that stuff. I thought
A story came out about his mom.
like I said, that's a very contentious story there. So
I know. I don't doubt that he's real. Like Snowden, though, Snowden's a fucking limited hangout. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah, no.
All you need to know is he wears glasses that are missing a little rubber eyepiece, and he always wears those same glasses. He's totally fake.
They're Google glasses because there's only one film of him saying the same thing.
Well, every time he appears in an interview, he's missing a little rubber piece on the one side.
He's probably a CGI character.
Remember, he brought up Prism.
What about Prism?
That the government is data mining us.
Oh yeah,
and
dude,
so,
the government
like
started Facebook. The government started Twitter.
So he brought out predictive
Internet.
information.
That's why I started my podcast, to feed the government.
Yeah.
The government started my podcast.
But it's not, I don't know if it's the government doing
Thank
it.
you, government.
They
I
might
don't
be
think it-
they might be funding it, but I don't think they're
What
doing
does my
it.
thing say?
Says what thing?
Okay, it got really quiet all of a sudden. What the fuck?
We're waiting for Michael to show
Sorry,
us
I'm
something.
looking for my tagline.
I'm like,
I was looking
what
for my
the
tag.
hell?
His tagline that he can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I just write the things as they come to me. I don't remember them. Fuck.
Channel.
Oh, so
That's right, exactly.
you want to talk controversial, Mike?
You're supposed to be
How about
keeping
this?
track, not
How
me.
do we even know there really is pollution?
Dead fish.
Well, we can actually. We know
Well,
that
I grew up in Syracuse, New York, right next to Onondaga. What was the name of that? But it's a Superfund site.
Mm-hmm.
So at the turn of the century of the early 1900s, they had it was huge carnival. It was a big park where everybody went so that they could enjoy the lake and everything. And then Kodak Film started dumping all their mercury into the bottom of the lake.
Dude, that's a poison.
There's 2.5 feet of mercury in the bottom of the lake now.
Dude, I wonder if there's a sarcophagus buried in there.
And once they realized what they had done, and that was all throughout the 40s and 50s and 60s, I think, then they just started dumping all sorts of crazy sewage into the lake, thinking that the lake would suck it up. Like they think that the Pacific Ocean can now suck up all of Fukushima. So now it's a Superfund site.
The beach in Cali does.
If you want proof of pollution, just go to Los Angeles. I mean,
I'm not talking about okay. First of all, I don't mean localized air pollution and water from littering.
Right. No,
that exists. I'm not questioning that. I'm talking things about
the island of trash in the Pacific Ocean's there.
Ozone layer. Talk about ozone layer.
Okay, but then let's go into the ocean too. Isn't the ocean 0.2 degrees warmer than it's ever been before?
But
there is now a new classification of
since
sand.
we started.
We only have 100 years or so of measurements.
I know.
So
if you test the sand in the ocean right now, there's a percentage of it that is a ground plastic that they're now classifying as a new type of sand, and it permeates the entire bottom floor of the ocean now.
No, what happened with BP in the Gulf with the anticoagulants and
Corrects
stuff
it.
is, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I saw. Oh, are we still live? Shit, I shouldn't tell this one. Never mind. Never mind.
Sir David Attenborough, he did what was it, Planet Earth and Planet Earth 2 documentaries, and they talk about the plastics, and they say how it's, after a certain amount of time, it breaks down the coral itself.
Yeah.
And there's a certain type of acid, and I can't recall what it is. But if you haven't seen the documentaries, they're outstanding. I highly recommend them. But he talks in great depth about, no pun intended, about depth. But he talks about the plastics and the effects that they have not only on the birds that hunt the fish, but the fish who hunt the other fish, and so on and so on. It's very fascinating.
And not to mention that we are eating those fish and living in that environment. So when these fish are picking up, ingesting sand and plastic, and you go and cook it, then guess what? You're cooking plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yummy in my tummy, man. Plastic.
That's something else he talks about. Yeah.
Teflon coated belly.
There's a kid that invented that stuff for skimming oils out of the water, and that's where I have my hope for the future, is that they're going to be able to clean up the wreckage of the Industrial Revolution.
I think all the tech's there. I really do. They're just holding that back too.
Well, and some
For what? Well, what
Money.
About,
because it's control.
All right, let's go.
There's so many things. They have to wait. It all has to happen at once.
All right, let's go woo here for a second. The Deepwater Horizon. I've heard lots of stories about that being some kind of actual ritual to summon a sea demon or sea beast.
Oh wow!
Beast of the abyss.
Kaiju.
I even heard Cthulhu mentioned in that. But
Yeah, well, they summoned it. It's still leaking.
Well, check.
It got disrupted by
I'll
that
tell my story,
explosion.
I guess.
And my brother sprayed the chemicals.
Yeah.
Oh,
Orlando.
Yeah, he's in the Air Force.
The
They went
Omar Abedin or
Yeah.
whatever his name is, the Orlando shooter, Omar. Oh, I forgot his name. You know his face, right, Omar? He's an actor in that fucking movie about Deepwater Horizon.
He did what?
I did not know that one.
Yeah.
I just watched it tonight, actually.
Wow.
I have free
It's like
HBO.
some journalists pull up to the place and he's a security guard and tells them they have to go back.
Yeah.
Like an Indian dude. You remember him in that movie?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
actually.
that's the Orlando
Oh, you're-
shooter.
That's right. Yep.
Holy F.
Whoa.
Crazy. I didn't even, I didn't put that together at all.
Again, I think he's. I don't. No, has anyone seen that guy? No, he died. Right, he died in the shooting. It's
Along
another
with like
one of
30
the
other people that the police mowed down.
alleged shooting, and then the death of the shooter, and then that's it. You never. Nothing about that guy. No autopsy, no burial, no funeral, no nothing.
See, this is reminding me of the Dallas shooting and the Baton Rouge shooting, and then the club in Florida.
Pulse. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Then you got and it's I don't want to call them false flags because they're not false flags. They
Yeah, they're
happen.
not. Yeah.
But if they're being used to promote false flags for a gun grab in the future, you can. That's where I'm sitting going. People need
Never
to
let a
not,
good
tragedy go to
Here's
waste.
the thing. This is my view on this. They're never going to be able to legislate away the Second Amendment. So
No way.
they have to go full police state and take your guns away. And these things are promoting extra security, additional security, more security. We need body scanners everywhere. And it's going to go biometric, as you were
Holy
saying. And then
shit.
that's where it's going. And once they have total control, then they can take your gun away.
All right, Jerry, I have a question because I always looked at the Pulse nightclub shooting as being a fuck up where the police went in there, had bad tactics, bad optics, ended up engaging the suspect and
They
blowing
never
away
entered
30
the
other
building.
people. Okay. Well, I was going to say, what if they were doing things like that, like fucking up on purpose just to cause all these mass casualties to push the agenda?
Well, you know what?
What if the cops went in there and shot?
You know
those
what I mean? Like,
people
hey,
up?
why did the cops not run into Columbine right away? Why did they wait 40 minutes or whatever it was? Well, could that have been purposely directed for agenda?
All of these
We will
things.
be talking 10 years about Parkland, Florida, like they are talking about Sandy Hook today.
No, we're not.
I hope not.
Well,
Sandy Hook's
look
different. It was closed when that happened.
Look at
The school
something
was
like
closed.
I know. They're going to destroy this. This school.
But they already did.
Now look at
No,
Kellyanne
not the Sandy Hook.
Conway's-
There's a new one.
No, the one that just happened.
Yeah, the
Just,
Parkland one.
like the other day. Yeah.
Are they? There was. I looked it up. There was another DHS integrated capstone event training exercise going on nationwide between February 11th and 17th.
I heard that too.
Which focused on mass casualty preparedness for hospitals, doctors, and first responders. There was also a similar thing going on in Vegas when Vegas happened.
It was funny. I was
Also, was one going on in Boston and at Sandy Hook. Surprisingly,
I was at a like a sandwich shop earlier today too, picking up something for my wife, and there was like, you know, they have these little local newspapers. First article on there, it said something about like blood trauma or something like that, and it was like free classes at the Cleveland Clinic, like they were offering for you to like just go in and learn how to do like mass casualty like raps and shit.
My mom works for the library system, and she's getting training on mass shooters in which they're teaching them that this is the training: throw a stapler at their face.
Yeah,
there you go.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
no, but that's the training. That's it.
Do
Now,
something.
They're librarians. What else are they going to do?
I've got a question.
I've
got a question. Do you think that Kellyanne Conway's little slip up about Kellyanne Conway, Trump's mouthpiece, when she was talking about the Bowling Green massacre, you know, the massacre that never happened? Do you think that was a slip up of a future false flag?
No. I think that they read scripts.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, do you think that they were setting up a false flag and she just kind of jumped the gun? No pun intended.
I don't think anyone in the White House or the executive branch, well, actually the White House administration, Trump, has any idea about the shit going on. These false flags. It's like deep state intel stuff.
More deep state, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're trying to put him in a bad spot.
They are the esoteric of the White House's exoteric.
They're trying to force him into a spot.
No, they don't care about Trump. Well, maybe they do, but they care. This is a long fucking game, dude.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Back to can I go back to the Deepwater? I think I do kind of want to tell you guys that story.
Yeah.
If you're into it.
I'm into
So I was working in this,
dude. That fucking affected me big time.
Okay, so I was working in this convention center, and what was that in 2011, right?
2010.
It was in like April of 2010.
It was May 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
So I was just moving to Canada, so I was back there basically finishing up, getting some things done, working some shifts before I got out of there. And I picked up some extra shifts, and one of them was for BP. Now, BP has a huge building in the city. There's no reason for them to rent a tiny little space. The only reason they ever rented from us was from the center I was working for, was to rent out the entire center and throw their Christmas party for like 3,000 people. And it was just like a huge blowout every year. So when they rented out this tiny little space for the entire week, it put a whole bunch of red flags up for me. And of course, I was just getting into all this at the time. Well, actually, I was several years in, but everybody was just like, okay, yeah, it's another one of your conspiracy theories that something's going to happen. But it was just 3 people, one woman who was there to train this other guy, and another guy who was there to run the AV booth. And they rented a very small room for the entire week. And the first few days, every time I would enter the room to straighten anything up or whatever, they would stop. And they would very politely wait for me to leave. And outside, we had electronic billboards on all the rooms. And on that one, they had it blank. There was nothing there for that whole thing. Nobody was supposed to know that BP was there. So I was just like, what the fuck? So you tell me, Jerry, should I stop telling this story right here?
I wasn't listening. What was?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you stop?
This was in February. This was in February of 2010.
Yeah.
So by day three of working this for the week, they were not stopping when I would go in there anymore because they were under the gun to get this done. And this woman was trying to train these top level BP executives how to handle talking to the camera for everyone to see. And they had to focus on safety. And it was all about, we are safe. Everything is safe. Everything we've done. It's all about safety, safety, safety. And they were drilling this guy. And he was like a super white, older guy. So he was very much in like the GOP type thing. He was not in the new world of what, everything is now.
The new world order.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but they were trying to prep him because he was more like a good old boy. He didn't really know how to talk in front of the camera or whatever. And you could tell this guy was really, really struggling with trying to get it figured out. And there was another guy that came and he did it a little bit better, and then he kind of left. But this one guy, I remember he was struggling. So I was telling everybody, you guys should watch, something's going to happen, because that was fucking creepy. And then I left and I moved to Canada. Well, I wasn't here for very long, for just like a few weeks, when the BP thing happened. And as soon as that happened, I was just like, bah, right there, see that. And no shit, the guy that was struggling to figure all of that out, Bobby Jindal, I think that's how you say his name, the governor of Louisiana, was having this press conference.
Wait,
and he said,
Louisiana?
blah, blah, blah. I think he was in Louisiana.
No,
he's saying, what?
He's saying whatever. Go ahead. Go.
He's saying to the cameras and to the press and everything, really gonna do this, was the look in his eyes.
Well,
so that's my story.
Gentlemen, I have to bid you adieu. It is that time.
Adieu.
Mr. Roop, good night.
But it has been a blast talking to you guys. Remember, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Gordon Roop. Hey, did I mention you could find me on smashwords.com?
You did know.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah, smashwords.com/profile/view/Gordon Roop, where you can buy any of my books in 8 different languages.
Oh,
sweet.
Wow. Cool.
That's just how I roll, y'all. You know?
They see you rolling, man. They see you.
Mr. Steak, Mr. Cruz, I'll see you guys Tuesday.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
And I'll see you in April.
Nice to meet you,
Gordon.
Sorry I hijacked your show.
You might see me sooner, Jerry.
That was how I roll.
All right.
True folk show.
Entertainment for some and metadata for others.
Awesome.
I like that.
All right, everyone say good night. We'll turn off the live stream.
Night, peeps.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Say good night,
Peace,
Gracie.
love.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye. Who was that masked man? That was Gordon Roop. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Next week, I'll have better news.
Tonight was awesome, dude. Thank you.
It was fun.
Ah, you're welcome. I'm thinking about doing like some kind of goofy news show. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
And since I already got this, maybe we could merge the two together.
Totally.
I think you should.
You say a goofy news show?
Yeah, like news, and then we can make fun of it. Or,
okay.
Like the Daily Show?
Yeah. But not so
but better.
left wing and funny.
Right, but like the Daily Show, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
The
know.
Daily Show was awesome when Bush was in office.
Yes, it was awesome when I was a Democrat. It was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, once Obama got in there, it just kind of sucked. But when Bush
Obama.
was in there, he was hilarious.
Obama's a buzzkill. Obama's like the older brother comes and takes your pot, man. You know, he's a bummer. He's a buzzkill. I don't know. That's how I always thought of
Give
him.
me that.
All right.
Just walks out of the room.
Yeah, right. Give me that. Then he's smoking in his room, you know. That's how it goes.
Yeah.